the National Football League. Today, the Chicago Bears against the New Orleans Saints.
Live from the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, the Bears and the New Orleans Saints. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris here at the Superdome. And Johnny, of course, many of the fans looking in the Chicago area are seeing their Bears on television for the first time this season. They have a win, they have a loss. They came back last week to beat Tampa Bay with a good defensive effort. Terry Schmidt taking in the score. Where are the Bears in week 3?
Well, I think a lot of Bear fans would like to know that, Tim. What about the defense? Are they going to have to save the offense all year, or can the offense get some sustained drives? As you know, they've gained almost 800 yards in total offense in 2 games, yet only have 2 touchdowns just to call for it. So we're going to find out what's going to happen there. Jim McMahon will be the starting quarterback again.
Defensively, the Bears have been solid through the first 2 games today. They've got to contend with a rising, good young team. Many think is headed for the playoffs. And, of course, they got a good old quarterback in Kenny Stabler.
Kenny Stabler, the Bears are going to have to stop him. As you know, he's an old pro, been around 14 years, and he's a good one. He has a sore knee. A lot of teams think that you should blitz him because he's not very mobile anymore. But a lot of teams also think, hey, as soon as I blitz him, he's so good at dumping the pass off. So we'll have to see how the Bears approach that situation. Will they blitz Kenny Stabler, or will they drop off and let Kenny Stabler pass? We'll see on that situation. Wayne Wilson is on the spot. As you know, last year, Rodgers was also injured. Wilson came on and gained all those yards, 138 yards, did a great job against the Bears. And we're almost ready for the kickoff.
Well, the Saints have won the toss. They'll receive the ball and defend the south goal. You're looking at Bob Thomas, number 16, who will kick it off for the Chicago Bears in white. Deep for the Saints, you see Kenny Duckett, and Rich Motti is up at the 20-yard line, along with Hokie Gaijan, and we are underway. It's going to come down to Motti at the 10. Motti over the 15, 25, almost to the 28-yard line, where Mark Bortz, reserve lineman for the Chicago Bears, made the tackle. And for the Saints offensively, it'll be Kenny Stabler at quarterback with Wayne Wilson and George Rogers spot. Hokie Gaijan, the fullback. Lindsey Scott and Jeff Groth, the wide receivers. LaFari, Edelman, Hill, Oubre, Brock, and Hobie Brenner across the front. Edelman playing with a pinched nerve in his neck. First down from the 28-yard line. Ken Stabler has been bothered with a sore knee, suffered in game 1 of this season. Brings out 2 tight ends, Brenner and Hardy. A quick flare out to Duckett. Duckett shakes off 1 tackler and gets over the 30-yard line for a gain of about 3. He's pulled down by Singletary and Fensick. Defensively for the Bears, Mike Hartenstein, Osborne, Hampton, and Harris across the front. Linebackers are Wilson, Singletary, and Brian Cabral still in for the injured Campbell. Richardson, Frazier, Bell, and Fensick the secondary for Chicago. Gary Campbell went on injured reserve this week, still recovering from a knee injury, and Jerry Muckenstern has been activated. 2nd and 8 for the Saints. Wayne Wilson trying the middle of the Chicago defensive line. Picked up about a yard, stacked up there by Osborne. And we'll call it 3rd and about 7 for the New Orleans Saints.
Very interesting on the first play of the game, the first down situation. Stabler went to the air. They're going to try and do that probably a lot against the Rams. They threw on first down 19 times. So we'll see what the strategy is there, as they now have a 3rd down passing situation. 6
defensive backs in for Buddy Ryan's defense of the Chicago Bears, and Stabler wants to throw. Got a man open in the middle and a first down over the 40-yard line. And it is Lindsey Scott, number 80, the second-year man from Georgia.
Well, the Bears came after Stabler a little bit, a little crisscross with the defensive lineman, but Stabler got back with that quick pass, and there you see Scott come across the middle, one-on-one on Leslie Frazier, and so far the Saints got that first drive going. At least they get a first down. That's better than punting on your first possession, right?
A 10-yard gain for the Saints and a first down. Duckett and Scott, the wide receivers. 1 setback is Wayne Wilson. Stabler is sacked by Dan Hampton. Stabler trying to move out of the pocket, moved right into big Dan Hampton, number 99. 5-year man from Arkansas, and a loss of about 7, maybe 8 yards on the play.
Okay, Stabler went back, was going to throw to Hobie Brenner out there, but Brian Cabral had him covered. Stabler wisely did not throw the ball. He could have had an interception, and you saw Dan Hampton, 99, break off the block. by Brad Edelman and make the sack. Dan Hampton playing with a very bad finger that got infected. It's broken, fractured, and he has to tape it. And it's pretty hard to grab onto somebody, but he did that time.
2nd and 17 for the Saints. Stabler has time. Sideliner is complete. Picked up about 7 yards on the play. Lindsey Scott, number 80, driven out on the far side by Walt Williams, number 43, into the Bears secondary as an extra defensive back, and it brings it back near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and about 10.5.
We should talk about Stabler's knee. He has, as you know, a chronic left knee problem. Well, earlier this season, he hurt his right knee, so he's playing with really 2 bad knees.
3 wide receivers in. Eugene Goodlow joining Duckett and Scott. Stabler has the time, and Goodlow cannot get to the ball. It is out of bounds. On the coverage was Walt Williams on the rookie Eugene Goodlow, a 3-year veteran of the Canadian Football League that the Saints had drafted in 1982 out of Kansas State.
Okay, you can take a look at the Bears' defensive coverage here, and the key here was that Stabler had to throw a lot further. He's not as effective on the longer pass, and it was Walt Williams, the 6th defensive back, just covering Goodlow man for man, and had the pass been a little bit better, it would have been completed. But Stabler, as you know, Tim, gets a little less effective the farther you throw down the field.
Russell Erxleben is in for the first punt of the afternoon, and there is Jeff Fisher, number 24 of the Bears, awaiting it at the Chicago 20-yard line. Erxleben has punted 9 times in 2 games for a 44.7-yard average. That has him first in the NFC, and a little delay here is.
And they're playing on a brand new carpet down there, Tim. It's a new artificial surface they put on here at the Superdome, so maybe it's a little softer. Maybe it's not worn out as much, huh?
Well, you know that, of course, the players don't like to play on the carpets much at all, but I'm sure they appreciate a new one if it is a little bit softer. Erxleben will hit it from the 30-yard line. Pretty good punt. Fisher takes it at his own 17. Straight ahead over the 25 to the 27-yard line, where the Chicago Bears will have their first offensive series of the football game here in New Orleans. We have 12:16 remaining in the first period. There is no score. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at the Superdome. A 42-yard punt by Russell Erxleben, giving Chicago their first offensive series of the day from their own 28-yard line. And Walter Payton is the lone setback. They have 2 tight ends in to start the football game. Jay Saldi with Emery Moorhead. Bashnagle and Marjoram, the wide receivers in motion. Moorhead, play action. McMahon to Bashnagle, and it's complete for a first down. And he is hit by Dave Waymer, number 44, out at the Chicago Bears 46-yard line. A nice-looking play to start the game.
That was a nice fake to Payton up the middle. As you'll see, Moorhead run right through the hole there like they're going to just draw the draw to Walter Payton. And McMahon hid the ball very well. And there came Bashnagle down on the quick post on a nice play. A fake of the draw, then the quick pass.
Jim McMahon comes in with 36 completions and 53 attempts, passing at 67.9 through 2 games. Dennis McKinnon is in at wide receiver, the rookie number 85, joining Marjoram. Moorhead in motion. Payton, wide left. Cannot make the turn. Good defensive pursuit for the New Orleans Saints. And it was number 94, the right defensive end, Jim Wilkes from San Diego State, making the stop on Payton. Clark, Derlin Moore, and Wilkes across the front 3 for the Saints. Ricky Jackson, Jim Kovach, Dennis Winston, Whitney Paul, an active linebacking group. Waymer and Poe on the corners. Russell Gary, his first game back after hurting a hamstring in the preseason. Frank Watlett, the other safety with him.
There have been a
gain.
lot of hamstring pulls on both of these teams and several teams throughout the NFL this year.
Gary, an outstanding second-year man from Nebraska. They're glad to have him back. 2nd and 8. Bashnagle and Willie Galt now the wide receivers. Bashnagle in motion. Short drop, and McMahon in trouble. Gets it off to Payton. Incomplete. Flags down where McMahon was dropped by the Saints, and there will be a personal foul charged against the New Orleans Saints, the preliminary signal, as McMahon apparently had released the ball before he took that hit. Wilkes and Clark had quite a rush on him. McMahon was lucky to get it away at all.
He tried to throw it off to Payton, who really took a shot from Jackson and Derlin Moore on the ground. So the Bears got roughed up, ended up with the call, and they'll be in New Orleans territory.
number 75.
It is Bruce Clark charged with the foul. Fred Wyatt, the referee. Joining in today, Tony Viteri, Dick Cantac, Chuck McCallum, Dave Moss, Wilson Gossier, and Royal Cathcart. The officials working the game. There is Bruce Clark, another refugee from the Canadian League out of Penn State. Drafted by Green Bay, went to Toronto, played well there, and the Saints acquired him in a deal with Green Bay. His second year now with New Orleans. First down for the Bears in Saints territory at the 38. McMahon up the middle, complete to the tight end, and that is Jay Saldi, number 81, acquired from the Dallas Cowboys, and that moves the ball to the 29-yard line of New Orleans, short of a first down, but the Bears, with help from that penalty, are now deeper into New Orleans territory.
They seem to be mixing the offense up real well. McMahon has completed 67% of these passes the first 2 weeks. We just saw Kenny Marjoram bring in the play. They're going with the one-back offense this entire drive. We have not seen Matt Suhey. Emery Moorhead is the rover back, and Saldi is the other tight end.
Second and a yard inside the 30 of New Orleans. Ashnagle and Marjoram
Blitz.
wide. They pick it up well. A pass to Saldi. Nice catch for Saldi down to the 11-yard line. McMahon with a perfect floater to Saldi, but he still had to reach up and make the grab on it. First down, Chicago.
And it was Whitney Paul, number 51, who had to cover Saldi all the way across the field. You'll see Saldi come into your picture, and there is Whitney Paul, number 51, on the chase. And that's a pretty tough job to cover a tight end all the way across the field as Saldi makes a nice grab. The man that Mike Ditka personally chose, he got him from the Dallas Cowboys, said he can help this team.
The 8-year man from South Carolina's got some fans in the house today. Jay Saldi. It is first down for the Chicago Bears. They are at the 13-yard line of the New Orleans Saints in their opening offensive series. Walter Payton is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. A horde of black-shirted Saints pulling him down just over the line of scrimmage, led by Derlin Moore, number 74, the nose tackle, and Dennis Winston, who has been a tower of strength at linebacker in the first couple of games for New Orleans, the former Steeler.
He comes from that mold of tough defensive players that the Steelers had, and New Orleans made a good deal when they picked him up. Derlin Moore made a nice play in there. He's the nose guard. As you know, they use a lot of 3-4 defense, Tim, and that nose guard can take a lot of punishment in there, a lot of double-team blocks as the Bears still in the one-back offense.
Payton got 2 yards in his own inimitable fashion. Looked like he'd been stopped for less. Second and 8. Ball at the 10-yard line. Payton again skips away from one tackler, gets down to the 7-yard line of New Orleans. Tripped up momentarily by Winston, but made it down to the 7 before Wilkes was the man who finally pinned him. Number 94, Jim Wilkes. Third down for Chicago. They need to get to the 2-yard line for a first down. Interesting play situation here. 4 new defenders come in for the Saints. They send in Reggie Lewis, Frank Warren, and Tony Elliott along the front.
They will have 4 rushmen rather than the 3-4 defense.
And Bruce Clark is the other one. One setback is Payton. In motion behind the ball comes Dennis McKinnon. Play action. Payton McMahon under pressure, throws back the other way, and it's complete to Willie Gault. Touchdown! Jim McMahon to Willie Gault. And McMahon throwing all the way across to his left after being chased out of the pocket, and the Bears have opened the scoring.
What a super play by McMahon and Willie Gault, but especially it was McMahon who was rolling out, had to throw all the way back. Watlett was on the coverage of Gault, who was going the opposite direction of McMahon. He got around the horn. He's so effective when he gets outside that pocket. Goes all the way back. It was a little bit of a blooper, but there was enough clearance there, and Watlett couldn't get there in time. And Willie Gault has his first touchdown in the National Football League.
And the first touchdown scored by the Bears in the first quarter so far this season. Game number 3. Bob Thomas will attempt the point after. Bashnagel to hold. It is good. And so the Chicago Bears, with an impressive-looking opening offensive series, have marched down the field in the Superdome to take a 7-0 lead over the New Orleans Saints. We have 8:16 remaining in the first quarter of play. Well, Notre Dame and Miami, the nighttime game. The Irish trying to rebound from that upset loss to Michigan State yesterday. But in the afternoon, starting it all off, Ohio State, a big winner over Oklahoma against Iowa. Tulane, they had a huge upset over Florida State right here in the Superdome last night against Kentucky. Oklahoma State and Texas A&M. All next Saturday on the NCAA coverage. And here is Bob Thomas for the Chicago Bears. The deep men are Motti and Duckett for the New Orleans Saints. It'll be Duckett from his 5. Duckett running a long way laterally, and he now turns it upfield. Kenny Duckett to the 41-yard line.
And he's supposed to have a slightly pulled hamstring muscle. He didn't run like it to me. He has been exciting all exhibition and during the regular season for the New Orleans Saints. Now, notice there, he takes it way over to the right. They had obviously a middle return, decided to go all the way to the left. And had it not been for some hustling by Dave Duerson, Duckett would have gone all the way. 22 will come from the right of your screen. He was forced one way by Fisher, which slowed his speed down, and Duerson makes the tackle. Another electrifying run by Kenny Duckett.
Big play for the young man from Wake Forest. First down. It is Wayne Wilson straight ahead for about 2 to the Bears' 38-yard line. And it is Osborne and Hampton on the tackle with the linebacker Wilson, Otis Wilson, number 55.
You know, it really was a persistent kickoff return, because usually when a ball is kicked way over in the right like that, Tim, they say, okay, we call off our middle or left return, we'll just go up and get what we can get. But Duckett has such good speed, they decided to stick with it and go all the way across the field.
The Bears took their first offensive series, 72 yards, 7 plays. He's got 4 minutes on the clock. And Ken Stabler, the Snake, trying to bring the Saints right back. Goodlow and Groth, the wide receivers. Stabler under pressure. Sideliner complete to Jeff Groth. Groth gets to the Bears' 35-yard line. A gain of about 5 on the play. He's hauled down by Todd Bell, number 25. Jeff Groth, the man Snake Stabler refers to as being reminiscent to him of Biletnikoff, Freddie Biletnikoff of the Oakland Raiders days. He says he's just a little faster than Freddie, and he refers to him as his Mr. Clutch. Well, he found him there.
Kenny Stabler is the NFL's all-time leading percentage passer, over 60% during a 14-year career.
6 defensive backs in for the Bears on 3rd and a long 3. They really set up a pocket for Stabler, and the pass is complete to Lindsey Scott. First down, New Orleans. To the Bears' 16-yard line. Leslie Frazier made the tackle.
Interesting pattern. They had nobody in the defensive backfield. There goes Lindsey Scott across. They crisscrossed and confused the Bear defensive back. Terry Schmidt was on the coverage, and Scott got a hold of the ball and then turned on his speed, and Schmidt gets in on the tackle, number 44. But they just crisscrossed the 2 receivers there, and they had no backs, no remaining backs.
Well, they really made a pocket for Kenny Stabler. They had 2 men on the wings forming a pocket. We'll watch for that again. First down for New Orleans. Short drop, and sideliner intended for Groth is incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the New Orleans Saints, threatening to tie things up at the Bears' 17-yard line.
And you can really get an idea how it's difficult to blitz Kenny Stabler. A lot of his passes now have been the 1-2 pass, the 1-2-3, the short pocket. And see, by the time you get ready for your pass rush, the ball is gone, and that's discouraging, actually, to a defensive lineman. So it's going to be up to the Bear defensive backs to cover tight if they're going to stop New Orleans.
2nd and 10, Brenner and Hardy, double tight ends. Quick pass to Groth, and he almost snuck through a pair of Bear defenders. He's at the 4-yard line. Let's make it the 3 between Frazier and Fensick. Jeff Groth.
There it is. You see Groth against Leslie Frazier, 21, and they have him inside outside, but the timing was so good, nothing could be done about it. And Kenny Stabler, you can't put the pressure on him when he does that to you. As long as they can do that, they'll be able to move up and down the field.
First and goal for the New Orleans Saints. They're at the 3-yard line of the Chicago Bears. The kickoff return by Kenny Duckett, setting them up, and now they're on the doorstep. The give is to Hokie Guyjon. Guyjon is at the goal line. Touchdown. Hokie Guyjon, the 3rd-year man from LSU, starting at fullback because Wayne Wilson is in George Rogers' spot at halfback.
Hokie Guyjon just followed off to the right, gets a good block there by Wilson, the other Wilson, Tim Wilson, and pulls his way into the end zone for the touchdown. A young man who's got a break you know, he doesn't like to say I got a break because somebody got hurt, especially Rodgers, but it did give him a chance to play last week, and he's playing this week and got himself a touchdown.
In for the point after, Morton Anderson. Perkins holding. It is good. And we have a tie football game. Go back and take another look at Guyjon's touchdown run.
There you can see the pile up right there, and you can see some of the Bears are moved back a little bit. Otis Wilson was moved back. A lot of pressure there from Wilson and Guyjon. Nothing was going to stop him, as we have the makings of a high-scoring football game, I think.
We've got 5:05 remaining in the first period, and the New Orleans Saints have tied things up at 7-7. Anderson's kickoff up, boomer deep into the end zone. Willie Gull almost back at the end line, will not bring it out. So the Danish-born Anderson really pops a kickoff.
You know, Tim, they had an interesting drive. I'm talking about the Chicago Bears. As you look at the Saints drive, 6 plays, 41 yards. The score now tied 7-7. If I remember correctly, Peyton carried a couple of times for 2 or 3 yards. Otherwise, the rest of that entire drive were all other players aside from Peyton. Peyton was not a factor as far as ball carrying or catching passes in that last drive, and that has not been the case in the first 2 games.
That's correct. Indeed, McMahon was 4 of 4 on that scoring drive. Walter Payton, a lone setback again. They started the game this way. It worked for them. They'll stay with it. Bashnagle in motion. The pitch is to Payton, trying to get wide left. Nowhere to go. Brings it back the other way. And the Saints shut him down for a gain of about a yard. Ricky Jackson turned him back inside, and then he was covered by Dave Waymer. It'll turn out to be about a 1-yard gain, maybe a half yard. Good defensive work by the Saints. Let's look quickly around the rest of the NFL. We've got some scores in. The 49ers in front of St. Louis, 7-0 in the first period. Green Bay leading the Rams, a game of great interest to Bears fans. Jan Stenerud's field goal. Kansas City, a field goal up on Washington. The Super Bowl Redskins trailing. It is second and about 9.5. Dennis Gentry in the lineup now for the Chicago Bears. Play action fake to Gentry. McMahon has time. Sideline complete to Dennis McKinnon. First down, Chicago, out to their own 40-yard line. And Russell Gary and Dave Waymer, number 20 and 44, are there for the Saints.
Jim McMahon continues a high percentage of completions. This time, not too much pressure. He does have to go out to the right, but McKinnon just goes down, comes back, and runs a nice pattern. McMahon waits for it, and that's what you call a precision. Even though that pass took longer, he went 18 yards on his deep stop rather than 12 yards, and it wound up being a precision pass.
So it is first down, Chicago, from their own 40-yard line. Again, the single setback. They give us to Dennis Gentry. Gentry skips out away from traffic and picks up about 6 yards to the 46-yard line of Chicago. Stopped there by Johnny Poe, the cornerback, number 25, and Frank Watlett, the safety.
I wonder if something happened to Peyton on that last play, because he is not back in here on the second down situation. And I know that if Peyton was healthy, or if there's not an equipment problem, Walter Payton would be in this football game. So we'll have to check that out for you.
2nd and 4. Gentry continues at the lone setback in the spot normally held by Payton. They have a wing in the slot left. Now back in motion behind the ball is McKinnon. Rolling to his right, McMahon. The pressure on, goes back the other way to Seldy. He's got lots of room with blockers. But a good defensive play by Whitney Paul, number 51. He got the first down, but credit Whitney Paul for breaking up what looked like a serious situation for the Saints.
Watch the left side of the Bear line. Everybody's pulling. The tackle, the guard, everybody's pulling to the right. When you pull a tackle like that, you draw all the defensive linemen and everybody with you. And Whitney Paul, as you mentioned, made a heck of a play because it was a tight end screen back to the other side, and he played off the block there by number 78, Keith Van Horn, and made the tackle on Salty. The Bears did get a first down, but they could have had a lot more.
Boy, could they ever. He was all by himself over there, Whitney Paul, doing a defensive job. It is first down, Chicago, at the 49 of New Orleans.
Peyton's back in there.
Peyton back in, has the football. Trying to go straight ahead, breaks a tackle, and then is shut down after a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Right now for an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, it's 3rd and 15 for the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana drops back. Freddie Sullivan on a fly pattern. He's got the safeties beat. It is a 69-yard touchdown, and San Francisco leads St. Louis by 7. Back to Tim.
All right, Fred, and so the 49ers trying to regain their glory of 2 years back. They're off to a good start this afternoon. It is 2nd and 7. Dennis Gentry is back in at the setback position. McMahon going deep, a bullet, and it is incomplete, just slightly overthrown, intended for Willie Galt, and Johnny Poe had the coverage for the Saints, number 25, watching that world-class sprinter blow by him.
There was a little collision there, and
a little bit off.
Right, they had a little collision. As you'll watch Galt go down with Poe, and they tie up a little bit, which slows Galt down right here. Poe was claiming that Galt pushed him a little bit, and down he went, and he clicked Galt on the back of the heels there and just stopped him just slightly. The pass would have been an easy touchdown.
McMahon was 6 for 6 until that incompletion, and it wasn't an incompletion by much. It also indicated those who think he can't get deep with the ball, that ball was very much there. Out of the shotgun on 3rd down, McMahon scrambling. First down, Jim McMahon into the 38-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Ricky Jackson forced him out of bounds, the linebacker number 57 for the Saints. 1:03 remaining here in this first period, and we have had an offensive fireworks display.
That's right, and you can't let McMahon out of the pocket like that. He is so quick. I was talking to Bum Phillips yesterday. He says the thing about McMahon, he feels that McMahon is more effective out of the pocket than he is in the pocket, and I agree with that, because McMahon throws so well on the run, but he also has great presence of mind, and that time some people might think he left too soon, but he got the first down.
The Bears at the 36-yard line of New Orleans. A pitch out to Dennis Gentry. Gentry, a nice move inside the linebacker, Kovac. Then a loose ball. And it is recovered by the Saints. Dennis Gentry, who had just made a beautiful move on Kovac, was hit, and Dave Waymer came up with a loose football. So the Saints stopped the Bears' drive.
Okay, it was Dennis Gentry and not Walter Payton, as Gentry cut back nicely here. Let's see if we can see who knocks that ball loose. It looked like number
Kovac,
52.
number 52.
Yeah, I think Kovac knocked loose after he had been faked out and came from the backside.
Right. Good recovery by Kovac, and Dave Waymer, number 44, came up with the ball. The Saints will start from their 31 when we return. We are back at New Orleans, and you see Walter Payton stretching out that leg. He apparently hurt his right knee, Johnny, and missed the last couple of plays of the Bears' offensive series.
Well, let's hope it's not serious. He has never had knee problems. He must have twisted it slightly, and that's why we're seeing Dennis Gentry playing quite a bit.
So the Saints have taken over on Waymer's fumble recovery. Wayne Wilson going straight ahead to the 35-yard line, picked up about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for New Orleans. We are tied at 7 with time winding down in the first period. Green Bay has now taken a 10-0 lead over the Rams on a 1-yard score by Eddie Lee Ivory. Baltimore in front of Buffalo 3-0. Frank Kush trying to rally those Colts. New England leading the Jets 13-0 in the first period.
Well, maybe they'll get their first victory of the season, and that's bad news for the Jets. They lost to Seattle last week.
2nd down and 7 for New Orleans, and Wayne Wilson running hard straight ahead, picked up about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down for the Saints and 2 to go. Well, don't forget, coming up later today, the New York Giants in Dallas, the second half of our doubleheader, and the Cowboys opening at home, and that's always a tough game. The Giants and the Cowboys coming up next. You heard the gun sounding the end of the first quarter here at the Superdome in New Orleans, and we have had a most entertaining first period of play. The score is tied, the Bears 7 and the Saints 7. Back at the Superdome in New Orleans, and George Rogers wearing his jersey but no pads. He's out with a knee injury, and currently this season 248 yards in the first 2 games. They hope to have him back possibly next week, and certainly the week after should be ready to go. It is 3rd and a long 2 for the Saints. Stabler under pressure, eludes one rusher, and has a completion and a first down to Jeff Gross. Number 86, is Clutch Flair from Bowling Green has a first down for the Saints to their own 46-yard line.
Pretty good adjustment in the pocket there by Stabler on that play. As you can see Groth go down the field. You see Al Harris is playing a linebacker spot, number 90. He comes to Fensick, waits for him, goes back to the ball, and Stabler moved out of the pocket and hit him. And that's what Groth is so good at, is finding the little hole, and that's what Stabler's talking about.
Dan Hampton had the rush on Stabler, couldn't get him. Wayne Wilson, number 30, bashing straight ahead behind the lead block, but the Bears shut that down well, and that's Hampton, number 99. And looking at the stats in the first period of play, see the Bears had 7 first downs to 4 for New Orleans. It led in the rushing and passing departments as well, but they turned the ball over one time, and the Saints are trying to make do with that. Weimer's fumble recovery at the New Orleans 31, and this is the same offensive drive. 2nd and 9. Stabler has a man open. Hobie Brenner to the 30, to the 25-24-yard line for Hobie Brenner.
Oh, what a play by Kenny Stabler. He wanted to go to the wideouts, but they were both played very tight on the short pass. So Stabler, there was some pressure on Stabler, so he had to make the last-minute decision. His secondary and third receiver was Hobie Brenner, 85. He quickly got a hold of him and hit him right on the dime. And Brenner out of USC took it down the field. Not a lot of speed, but he's a big guy, 240-pound tight end. He says, I better just cover up and make sure I hang on to that ball as the Bears finally bring him down.
30-yard gain. Stabler to Hobie Brenner. Larry Hardy has come in to give him a breather. First down, New Orleans. Inside the Bears 25. Stabler with lots of time. And it is incomplete, but flags everywhere. Richardson will be called for interfering with Lindsey Scott.
I think it was a good call. It looked like Richardson got there a fast before the ball did. The young man out of Arizona State, the rookie, has been put on the corner and has been involved in a couple of heated plays that was beaten a couple of times, but hasn't played all that badly
number 27,
overall.
First down.
Okay, here's Scott, 80 at the right of your screen. He'll go down, break across. Here comes 27, Richardson. Does he hit him before the ball gets there? Yes, he does. Good call by the official.
Richardson had fallen down, as you could see. He slipped when Scott made the cut, and it looked like he was just going to take a chance, somehow get a piece of the receiver and hope he got away with it. He did not. The ball at the 14-yard line. Brenner and Hardy, double tight end. Groth in motions. Out of the eye, they give us to Wilson. Wilson to the 6-yard line. The Saints on the doorstep again. It is Al Harris making the tackle there with Singletary.
Good blocking by the left side of the Saints line, and good heads-up running by Wilson. He spotted the hole a little bit to the left of where it was supposed to be and ran for daylight like George Rogers does.
The ball at the 7. It is 2nd and 4 to go for a first down. They need again to get just inside the 3 for a first down. McMichael has come in defensively for the Bears. They have 5 down linemen. McGraw is out. Saints in the eye. Wilson trying to pick his way, gets a couple to the 5-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. In shades of last week for the Chicago Bears, trying to hold out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which they were able to do. Now they have a 3rd and 2 at their own 5-yard line as the Saints are trying to take the lead. Groth comes out. Rich Motti, number 84, is in at wide receiver, apparently having brought in the play. Bears have Cabral back in and McMichael back out. Saints keep it on the ground, and it is Gaijan getting over the 5, close to the 3-yard line, but he may be short of the first down. See if this is going to bring up a 4th down. Yes, it will. They've spotted the ball at the 4-yard line. They need to get inside the 3 for a first down. And Bum Phillips sends in Morton Anderson to take the 3. There's Bum, no hat today. He says, my mommy told me never wear a hat indoors.
Well, I guess he decides this early in the game, hey, he'll take the 3. It's one of those calls that could be debated. You know, when you got 1 yard, you're down on the 4. If you don't make it, you still have the Bears bottled up, but he wants the 3.
Merkins will hold for Morton Anderson, and the left footer pops it through, and the New Orleans Saints have capitalized on the fumble recovery by Dave Waymer of Dennis Gentry's Chicago fumble, marched it down the field, and scored on the field goal with 10:46 to go in the first half. New Orleans by 3.
Do you want to see why the Saints didn't get their first down? You'll see Hartenstein jammed up there, but here comes 27. Mike Richardson, the cornerback, who got up in there tight and just got himself in the middle of the line, was able to make the stop.
Back live, we see Anderson's kickoff, another bomber into the end zone, and it will not be brought out as Willie Gault, 5 yards deep. Besides, discretion is the better part of valor.
I'd say that's the best defense against Willie Gault, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. 10:40 remaining in the first half. We'll be back after this commercial timeout. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at the Superdome, and you see the Chicago Bears on first down have been getting that all critical mileage, and there is Walter Payton, number 34, back in the Bears lineup. They will start from their 20-yard line with 10:40 to go in the first half, trailing New Orleans 10-7. Jim McMahon, 6 of 7 passing. On first down, will go to Payton. And Walter Payton over the 25 to the 26, a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Dennis Winston made the tackle for the New Orleans Saints. Looks like it's coming back against the Bears on a holding call. You know, the Bears have 3 rookies in that offensive line that looked so impressive in the first 2 drives for Chicago today. Reeve Sori, the right guard, is out with a knee injury, and Kurt Becker, when I say a rookie, not technically speaking, but the second man for Michigan is effectively a rookie.
Number 63, first down.
Jay Hilgenberg, the center, number 63, in for Dan Neal, is charged with holding. And, of course, Rob Feta is playing for the injured Noah Jackson at left guard, and the tackle, number 1 pick, Jim Covert, number 74. So 2 bona fide rookies and an effective rookie in Kurt Becker in the offensive line for the Chicago Bears today. It is first and 20 from their own 10-yard line. McMahon near the goal line is dropped. Big defensive play by Derlin Moore, the nose tackle.
Boy, he was in there like a defensive end. Derlin Moore, who is the nose guard. And you're going to see Jay Hilgenberg as the center. He's over the center, 63. Gives him a little chuck to the right and just pushes him aside. And Derlin Moore gets in to put the clamps on Jim McMahon. So Derlin Moore really did a job that time, especially on center Jay Hilgenberg. Just made the quick move on him, and that really puts the Bears in a hole.
Second and 28. An 8-yard loss on the sack by Derlin Moore. Derlin Moore in his 138th game. He's the all-time Saint in that department. Timeout has been called by the Chicago Bears as they have a lot of things to consider. Second and 28 from their own 2-yard line. 10:05 to go in the half. The Saints by 3.
What happened to your Notre Dame team?
They got waxed, I'd have to say, by upset-minded Michigan State. And they have to get the things together again against tough Miami next Saturday night on CBS. Suey and Payton, the first time we've had the I formation in here on 2nd and 28. The Bears deep in their own end. And they give us to Payton. Payton has running room. Payton all the way out to the 15-yard line. And a big gainer out of a big hole for the Chicago Bears. Watlett and Waymer made the tackle for New Orleans.
Great individual running by Payton. It was kind of a counter. It looked like it was going to the left. He came back to the right and breaks the tackle there by Derlin Moore, 74, and that was a key to getting down the field. He broke that tackle by Derlin Moore, and Byron Bashnick got over there and almost took care of Watlett.
Reggie Lewis, Tony Elliott, Frank Warren, a new front 3 in there. Along the defensive line with Bruce Clark staying in to make it a 4-man front. 3rd and 14. McMahon trying to find an open man, backed up to his 1-yard line, and the pass in the general direction of Matt Suey is incomplete. So the Bears will have to punt. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, the Atlanta Falcons strike against the Detroit Lions. Steve Bartkowski pulls out. Alfred Jackson against the safety man. No contest. Alfred simply outruns him. A 54-yard touchdown. And Atlanta now leads by 10. Let's go back to Tim and Johnny.
All right, Brent, we're back here with the Bears. We'll have to punt. Parsons standing at his own 1-yard line. Number 86. Deep for the New Orleans Saints. Jeff Groth waiting for it at his own 42. Parsons, he kicks a dandy. Parsons backing up Groth to the 35. Flags are down. Groth is buried at the 43-yard line of New Orleans. And first man down was Dan Raines, number 53, reserve linebacker. Let's see what the flag is about. It was down in the area where Jeff Groth caught the ball. Illegal contact is being charged against the New Orleans Saints. 49-yard punt for Bob Parsons. Got a hang time in here in the air conditioning of 4.1.
I would say the Bears came out of that pretty well. A moment ago, they were backed up on their 2-yard line, and they got out of that situation.
Number 25, first down.
And New Orleans has the ball on their own 32-yard line.
Well, we're down to 9:03 remaining in the first half of play at the Dome. The New Orleans Saints holding a 10-7 lead over the Chicago Bears. The broadcast is presented by authority of the National Football League. Intended for the private use of our audience, any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and the National Football League is prohibited. So the Chicago Bears have a first, the Saints, pardon me, have a first down at their own 32-yard line following the huge punt by Parsons. Double tight ends in for the Saints. In motion behind the ball is Eugene Goodlow. The pitch to Wayne Wilson. Wilson is shut down for a loss, and a diving tackle by Mike Singletary, making an ankle grab and dropping him for a loss of about a yard, maybe 2.
Great play by Singletary. Went through a lot of traffic to make that stop as the Bears were in their, what they call their 46 defense. And Singletary, you know, he's looking for the signals now. You see him taking him from the sidelines from Buddy Ryan. But pretty soon he'll probably go out in the passing. Every time he makes a good play or throws somebody for a loss, they go into a passing situation, and a lot of times Singletary goes out. So you make a good play and you're out of the ball game. That's kind of unusual.
Yes, I'd say so. 2nd and 11. Duckett and Goodlow, the wide receivers. Stabler wants to throw, intended for Duckett. Richardson nearly intercepted. Mike Richardson. Stabler hung the ball up a little bit, and Richardson nearly had himself an interception down in Bears territory at the 35. The rookie from Arizona State.
Okay, let's take a look at Mike Richardson, who was plenty deep on the play. He wasn't going to get beat deep on that one. He almost made a great individual effort on the interception, but more importantly, he did stay back on his deep coverage. He's had a tendency sometimes, even though he's had deep coverage, to get a little bit the offensive receiver get a little too close to him, and then if the pass is just right, he gets beat. But this guy's going to be a good football player.
Walt Williams and Terry Schmidt are in defensively. 6 defensive backs on 3rd and 11. One setback for the Saints. Stabler up into the pocket. It is incomplete, intended for Lindsey Scott. Had he caught it, he had nowhere to go. Terry Schmidt was right on him. Let's take a look at the action in the NFL next week. You'll see on CBS Sports. New Orleans Saints will be at Dallas against the Cowboys. The Bears will be in Baltimore, and that is a little different starting time than you're used to in Chicago. 12:30 Central. You'll see the Bears at Baltimore, and St. Louis at Philadelphia, another regional game. New England leading the Jets 13-7 in the second period. Look at this. Green Bay in front of the Rams 17-0 in the second quarter. And the doubleheader game, the Rams and the New York Jets. So quite an afternoon on CBS Sports. Willie Gault is the deep man for the Bears, in a long punt to the 15-yard line from Erxleben, and Gault gets it back to the 22 before he is stopped by the Saints specialists. And leading the way was Jim Peterzak, reserve center number 76. Big punt by Erxleben, a 55-yarder. So the Saints leading 10-7 with 8 minutes remaining first half. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris here at the Superdome in New Orleans, and the Chicago Bears will take over following a 55-yard punt by Erxleben. It is first down at their own 21-yard line. They had Willie Gault back to receive in his own end, hoping for the big return, but the Saints did the job. Suey moves up to the wing right. Peyton alone setback. Suey in motion behind the ball. Play action.
Oh,
fake,
wide open.
Wide open is Marjoram. Kenny Marjoram, he falls down and gets up at the 30. Marjoram still going. Inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, where Johnny Poe, number 25, with help from Dave Waymer, pulled him down. What a play for the Bears. When you say wide open, that you can't possibly describe it as more wide open than that.
There had to be a mistake in the defensive backfield, but watch the faking by Jim McMahon. He hides that ball. Marjoram went right down the sidelines. For some reason, Poe stayed in short, number 25, and he went for the fake of the run. Whether he thought he had deep help, I do not know, but there's no way he should have been that wide open as Johnny Poe tries to come back for the tackle. Marjoram duking around a little bit, but finally Poe gets in on the tackle. But what a big play, and obviously a mistake in the New Orleans secondary.
First down for the Bears at the 18-yard line. Marjoram, I think, was so excited about having all that real estate to work with.
He stumbled after he got it.
Yes, he did.
Couldn't believe it.
They give us to Payton, and a good defensive play by Ricky Jackson. Nearly had him for a big loss, and still the Saints shut him down after a gain of only about a yard. On the tackle, Russell Gary, the safety, with Kovacs, the linebacker, number 52. 2-yard gain for Payton will make it 2nd and 8. The ball being spotted now at the 16-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. The Saints lead it 10-7. Well, we've had lots of offense, but only 17 points scored. It seems like the score ought to be about 23-20 or something by now. Mike Ditka.
He says what it takes for the Bears to win: scratching, clawing, and digging.
And some good defense. Put one for him his first game of the season last week against Tampa Bay. 2nd and 8. Payton has a hole up the middle inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Pulled down from behind, but he had a huge hole in the middle. Took advantage of it.
There was no penetration by the Saints defense that time. As watch Hilgenberg, he's number 63, the center, and there's nobody over the guard, and then Hilgenberg just wheels out number 99, Tony Elliott, makes the big hole. So good block by 63, and the Saints really had very, very little penetration that time.
Saints defensively with a second unit along the front. Tony Elliott on the nose, Frank Warren and Reggie Lewis. All three of those players, however, do get a lot of playing time, along with Clark, Moore, and Wilkes starting. 3rd down, about a yard to go for a first down. Walter Payton inside the 10 is stopped. Looks like he probably squirmed for the first down yardage. We'll wait and see where they mark the ball. And it was linebacker,
I think he's a little short,
Dennis
Tim.
Winston, who made the hit on him with Reggie Lewis, number 98, the left defensive end.
Now, Mike Ditka is faced with the same situation that Bum Phillips was a few minutes ago, and it looks like Ditka is going to go for the field goal, at least apparently. Bob Thomas is out on the field, and he's going to settle for the 10-10 tie. But Ditka's an aggressive coach. You never know what he might come up with.
Dennis Winston has been the defensive stalwart, and there is the tall wide receiver Tyrone Young. His job is to get up there and try and block it. But Bob Thomas blasts it through for the Chicago Bears. And so the Bears have tied things up here. At 10-10, we have 4:42 remaining in the first half. And go back and see that replay. Here's a specialist for them in this department, Tyrone Young.
Number 40, he's going to go up and try and time his leap. The old basketball player up to go for the dunk shot, and how close does he get? Pretty darn close. In fact, he was high enough, but it was a little bit to the right or left of his hand, and so he gave it a shot.
6'6" Tyrone Young, the rookie from Florida. We'll be right back. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at the Superdome. Bob Thomas will kick it off for the Bears, who have tied things up at 10-10. From just inside the goal line, Rich Motti, number 84. Motti gets out over the 20 to the 22-yard line. He's stopped there by Dave Duerson, the reserve defensive back. Right now, let's take you to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, here's how Green Bay got 17 points against the Rams. Their quarterback, Lynn Dickey, is having a sensational season. This is his 9th touchdown pass of the year. This one is to John Jefferson. And they still are dominating the Rams by 17 points. Back to Tim.
Brent, of course, Bears fans watching all the Green Bay scores with great interest. The Pack has been picked as one of the contenders for the division crown. First down here for the Saints. Kenny Stabler intended for Lindsey Scott. Little mix-up there either by Scott or Stabler because the ball was behind Scott. It looked like he was hesitating somewhat, making his cut.
They had both wide receivers on the same side that time, and You know, you can't miss connections on those short ones. They depend so much on them, as you see Stabler.
Would you call that a glare he was giving his receiver there?
He was saying, don't cross me up. And when you're a 14-year veteran who's thrown to a lot of great ones, Lindsey Scott's got to feel a little bit sheepish, but he'll make up for it. Kenny Stabler also.
The patriarch of passing, 2nd and 10. From his own 21-yard line, Groth and Goodlow, the wide receivers, and that is complete to Hobie Brenner, the big tight end, 6'4", 240-pounder. A first down for New Orleans to their own 44-yard line.
The Bears in a 3-man rush. They couldn't get to Stabler, and Brenner went straight down the field. He's got Todd Bell, who's covering 25 on the outside of him. When you throw it high like that and you get a big man like that up there, all Todd Bell can do is hope to jar the ball loose. Nice play by Stabler and Hobie Brenner.
So the passers continue to dominate the action. A 21-yard gain to Brenner. First down for New Orleans. And he has sacked Mike Hartenstein as Stabler was steered right into him, and Hartenstein was able to drop him for a big loss back to the 33-yard line of New Orleans.
He beat Stan Brock, 67, one of their fine offensive tackles, to the outside, and gets to the outside. Stabler had nowhere to go, and 73, Mike Hartenstein, who had 2 sacks last week, now has 3 in less than 2 games.
An 11-yard loss for the Saints. 2nd and 21. Off the gainer to Brenner. They find themselves back.
LaFari moved too soon, I believe. 64, the left tackle, and this will probably go against New Orleans.
Flags everywhere. Freddie Wyatt signals illegal procedure. Dave LaFari, the 7th-year man from Purdue, has withstood the challenge of high-priced Leon Gray out of Jackson State.
Ball start, number 64. 2nd down.
Gray came over in a trade from Houston last year and has not been able to displace Dave LaFari, although Gray has been hampered by an ankle injury. So it is 2nd and 26 now for the New Orleans Saints. Groth and Goodlow, the wide receivers, are in the pro set. Guy-Jean and Wayne Wilson. Stabler with time, and his receiver fell down and picked off by Frazier. Leslie Frazier, a flag down on the play. The pass was intended for Goodlow, who slipped on the carpet, and he may be charged with tripping the receiver, the interceptor, Leslie Frazier. Let's see what the call is. Discussion there with the officials, and a big play by Leslie Frazier. A tough break for Goodlow, who the Saints expect is going to be a star receiver in the NFL after 3 dazzling years in the Canadian Football League. One season he caught 100 passes.
And there's going to be a penalty tacked on to this situation, I assume, after the interception.
Tripping, number 88.
Yeah, it was Goodlow who had fallen. Frazier made the interception, and you'll see Goodlow get the leg out there.
You know, the people have been having trouble, a lot of slippage down on that new surface. As you see Gary Fensick, they go into the deep zone, everybody's off, and at the top of your screen you can see, now watch him slip, he goes down, Frazier comes up with the interception, and then Goodlow kicks back with his feet to make the tackle, and that is illegal.
So a big break for the Chicago Bears. First down from their own, from the Saints 34, but a sack on McMahon. Blasting in was Reggie Lewis and Ricky Jackson. Reggie Lewis, the 2nd-year man from San Diego State, and of course the Pittsburgh linebacker Jackson, real quick.
They put that blitz on. You'll see him come from the right side. Marjoram was wide open, but McMahon did not have time to react, and here comes 57 and Reggie Lewis 98, but it was 57, Ricky Jackson, who made the sack. And McMahon's been sacked a few times in the first 2 games. I think he had 5 going into this game.
Bobby Johnson and Rob Nairn are into the game defensively on the 2nd and 17 passing situation. Jay Sowley in motion back toward the ball. Out of the shotgun, they give it to Payton. Payton cannot make the turn at the corner. Got about 2 as Ricky Jackson battled with the blocker Rob Feta and turned Payton upfield. Good job by Jackson. 2:31 remaining here in the first half.
Somebody down on the field for New Orleans. Frank Warren, I believe it is, that is down on the field.
The right defensive end, a third-year man from Auburn. And Bump Phillips and his defensive staff have been using 2 sets of down linemen here. Clark, Moore, and Wilkes started. Lewis, Elliott, and Warren have seen plenty of action, and he's up and all right. Remember, coming up later here today, the second half of our CBS doubleheader this afternoon, the New York Giants at Dallas. The Cowboys making their home opener. And that great rivalry in the NFC East always has the Giants playing tough in Dallas. So that is coming up immediately following our coverage of the Saints and the Bears. Third down and 15 for the Chicago Bears at the 37-yard line in New Orleans out of the shotgun. McMahon.
5 defensive backs in.
McMahon running out of time. Will not get it away. A burst of speed by Reggie Lewis, catching up with McMahon, and the Saints defensively tough. So that'll bring up 4th down for the Chicago Bears, who failed to capitalize after the interception by Frazier.
Here comes Reggie Lewis from the outside, puts on the old speed, and McMahon, who's pretty quick for a quarterback, can't get out of it. He's trying to throw the ball downfield, and Reggie Lewis made the sack, and that's a great defensive series for the New Orleans Saints, who were put in a hole by the interception. So that can do a lot for a defense. These Saints play tough defense. They play out of the 3-4. Sometimes they go into the nickel. They have a lot of good defensive linemen.
So the 2-minute warning has sounded, and we still have ourselves a tie football game at the Superdome in New Orleans. Bears 10, the Saints 10.
Bears gives to the United Way because United Way supports the Salvation Army.
This is a scene of the Salvation Army we're all familiar with. But today, the Salvation Army is doing much, much more. Come on, I'll show you some of it. Here at the Salvation Army, there's a place for kids to get in off the streets. A place where they can learn about the dangers of drugs or alcohol. Here they can get a good start in life, a fresh start. The Salvation Army has been strengthening families and building better, stronger communities for over 100 years. Today, Salvation Army is working to hold the family together. Through family counseling, they serve all members of the family. The Salvation Army, helping people for over 100 years. All kinds of people, all year long. And thanks to them, thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
Now I do. Does that come here? The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. It is a 4th down situation here with 2 minutes remaining in the first half. And the ball at the 42-yard line of the New Orleans Saints after New Orleans did an outstanding defensive job following the Chicago Bears interception. Parsons standing back at his own 43-yard line at a 49-yarder in his last effort. Jeff Groth waiting for it at the 10-yard line of the Saints. No doubt expecting it to be over his head. Parsons angling for the corner, and he may wind up with a dandy. The ball bounces out of bounds at the 10-yard line for Bob Parsons. A beautiful punt. Let's take a look at some of the other scores here as we are approaching halftime. San Francisco now in front of St. Louis 14-7 in the second period of play. Atlanta doing a job on the Lions 17-0. So again, the Bears and the Packers are getting some help there. Meanwhile, Green Bay helping itself, leading the Rams 17-3 in the second quarter. Kansas City continues to lead Washington. Another field goal by Lowry. And back here in New Orleans, we have a 10-10 tie, and the Saints have to start from their own 10-yard line. Stabler to Brenner. Kobe Brenner has a first down out to the 29-yard line. Otis Wilson and Todd Bell back on the coverage, but Brenner was open, and a quick play out of the New Orleans near the end zone. They get themselves quickly up to 29. To the 29-yard line, a 20-yard gain. Stabler. Incomplete, intended for Lindsey Scott, number 80. It'll be 2nd and 10. Frazier on the coverage. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the NFL Today with Brent Musburger and Irv Cross will bring you up to date on all the scores and highlights. And our feature today, Irv Cross's Legends of the Game, will feature Charlie Connerly, the great Giants quarterback. 2nd and 10. 1:22 on the clock. Kenny Stabler, that's a lot of time. From the New Orleans 30-yard line. Stabler, it's good protection. Complete to Wilson. He dropped the ball right into the hands of Mike Richardson, who gets it to the 41-yard line. Todd Bell put the lick on Wayne Wilson, and the ball popped right into the hands of the Bears, Mike Richardson.
This was a case where, watch number 54. He's going to cover Wilson coming out off the wing across the field. Now, 54, Cabral has no chance to stay with him. They've got a nice gain out of this. This would have been a nice drive to be continued. But watch him. He's hit by Cabral, strips the ball. And there's Mike Richardson, 27, who seems to be Johnny on the spot the last couple of games for the Bears as far as recovering fumbles. He recovered a key one last week as Mike Ditka now senses a chance for the Bears, who are at the 42-yard line and plenty of time on the clock, 1:13. There's Mike Richardson, 27.
Brian Cabral did a great job of stripping that ball. I saw Bell go underneath to make the hit, but Cabral was the one who tackled the ball from above. And a timeout has been called by the Chicago Bears with 1:13 on the clock. McMahon comes over to talk things over with Mike Ditka and Ed Hughes. And now ample time, of course, for Chicago, since they are in the Saints territory at the 42. They have only one more timeout remaining. Ditka, in the shot we saw there moments ago, looked a little irritated that they had to take time out here, knowing full well he would like to be saving 2 for this final 1:13.
Now, you can bet they're going to come up with a play that we haven't seen here in this drive. You save plays for certain situations. And the Bears obviously say, hey, something happens towards the half and we get the ball in. We're going to save this play for this situation, because we've seen that they've done this on these kinds of situations. So I don't know what they'll come up with, but you watch. It'll be something that an action or a type of movement that the Saints have not seen yet in this game. So we'll see what they come up with. They have plenty of time. 1:13 left in the game. Peyton's knee apparently is okay. That's got to be that must have given Mike a few lumps in his throat, Ditka, when they said, hey, Walter's got a sore knee. Probably the biggest and most explosive offensive weapon in the NFL when you take every way that Peyton can hurt you. Running, rushing, pass receiving, blocking.
1:13 to go in the half. Nickel defense in for New Orleans. Bobby Johnson, number 34, the nickel back. First down for the Bears. Off the fumble recovery by Richardson.
There it was.
Play action.
Peyton
up
in
the
motion.
middle, open is Peyton, and he makes the catch. Knocks down 2 defenders, both of whom are hurt on the play. And Peyton bounces back up as he was finally pulled down. But Watlet and Bobby Johnson colliding as he caught the ball at the 15-yard line of New Orleans.
What they did was they brought Peyton in motion. The first time he had been in motion this game, he goes in, went out into the slot, and goes straight down the field on the arrow, deeper than the linebackers. They're in the deep zone, which they expected. The Saints not let anybody get behind him, and you can see that it was over Whitney Paul, and here comes the collision. Peyton stopped, but it took a lot of beef to stop him, didn't it?
It is finally Paul who makes the tackle, but Johnson and Watlet collided with each other as they tried to combine on Peyton. And Bobby Johnson is yet to get up. The nickelback, first-year man out of Texas, who had been cut earlier and then re-signed with the injury to Rodney Lewis. And they are a little thin in the secondary. Of course, Vernon Perry just signed and in uniform today, the former Houston Oiler. So they have him available, and Bill Hurley. But Rodney Lewis has gone on to injured reserve, and Bobby Johnson is still being attended to. There is Vernon Perry, and Perry, 50-year man from Jackson State, who the league finally allowed the New Orleans Saints to sign after his legal problems, and Houston had let him go during the preseason. He's been in camp here for a couple of weeks, and Phillips, knowing him well from his Houston days, happy to have him now as a New Orleans Saint. So Bobby Johnson is up and apparently all right, a little sore after the collision with his teammate Frank Watlet and the very strong and durable Walter Payton.
I got to wonder, when you're sending Peyton in motion, they haven't seen him in motion, but when your linebackers see that action, to let him get clear there of the wing and then go straight down the field without somebody getting in front of him, making, you know, adjust his pattern, you got to wonder, you know, why you do that. You can't let Peyton get down clear and free straight down the field.
56 seconds remaining in the half. First down for the Chicago Bears at the 17 of New Orleans. A 10-10 tie. Give it to Peyton. He's got to go to hole up the middle and get to the 12-yard line. A flag down in the defensive secondary area. Let's see what the call is. Kovach made the tackle on Walter Payton. Holding is the signal.
Maybe that's why there was no penetration. Boy, there was a big hole there. In fact, the Saints didn't have any penetration. They had Kurt Becker, the guard, come over to throw a trap block, and there was nobody for him to block. So somebody must have been holding everybody.
Holding number 63.
Jay Hilgenberg.
First down.
63 is Jay Hilgenberg, who's been getting more time at center.
If he
For
keeps
the Bears.
holding, he'll be getting less time.
He had a penalty earlier in this game.
Good football player. He's going to be playing more and more. As you can see, he's played quite a bit in this game. Dan Neal has been the starting center for years and years, and they're going to be sharing the duty, but with more and more time for Hilgenberg.
Third-year man from Iowa. Bill Hurley is in to make 5 defensive backs in this passing situation. McMahon out of the shotgun. Moorhead in motion. Big rush. The ball is dropped and covered by the Bears, but back at the 42-yard line to New Orleans again. Comes up big defensively. Tony Elliott, the second-year man from North Texas State.
And the Saints went to a 5 defensive lineman situation. There are 5 big men right there. And look at this. Tony Elliott gets right through, puts the pressure on, and Hilgenberg, 63, was trying to throw the block, stripped the ball loose, and Jimbo Covert, got it between his legs there.
Almost Moore looking for the loose ball, and Covert able to hold on. It'll be second and what you call very long. They're now out at the 42-yard line. 24 seconds on the clock. 35 yards to go for the first down. Short pass to Suey, dropped the ball, incomplete. And again, a big rush. This time, it came from Frank Warren, number 73, who had been out briefly with bruised ribs. But the Saints are having a field day defensively, teeing off on the Bears offense in this final minute of the first half. 15 seconds on the clock.
Well, now the touchdown situation is obviously out. They have time to complete one pass and then go for the field goal situation. They have enough time to, even if it's an inside play, to call a timeout and stop the clock. I'm kind of looking for maybe, well, they're going into the shotgun. Somebody over the middle because they're doubling all the outside guys.
Third and 35. Moorhead in motion back toward the slot. Turns it upfield. Flag down. McMahon runs it up the middle. He is dropped after a pickup of about 2. Trying to signal his final timeout. It was Frank Warren and Bruce Clark combining to pull him down. McMahon got the clock stopped with 9 seconds remaining. Fourth down at the 40-yard line. Penalty against the Bears. Illegal motion, the preliminary signal. And a little discussion with Mike Ditka about the next and final play of this half. Coming up very shortly, Brent Nerve with scores and highlights from around the NFL today, and Irv Cross's Legends of the Game. Charlie Connolly.
The Saints were debating on whether or not to take that penalty. They decided to take it to make sure that the Bears were out of field goal range.
Left guard.
But in that situation, they do give the Bears another play. I'm not so sure that I would have maybe refused the penalty because the Bears were on the, 42? It would have been too long of a field goal attempt and put them in a fourth down situation. But now they're in a third down situation, whereas if the Bears can complete one for 15, 20 yards with 9 seconds to go, they would still have time to kick a field goal. So they could regret that decision. We'll see.
Third and 40 to go for first down. I don't think they're shooting for the first down.
If they are, they got delusions of grandeur.
I would say so. That's the official count out there on those stripes. 9 seconds on the clock.
No, I don't think I'd ever given the Bears another play. not for a 5-yard penalty.
Well, they'll have to get somebody out of bounds to stop that clock, so one could anticipate a deep sideline, I would think. If
well, at the 9 seconds, you can actually complete a pass in the field of play, and since anybody can call a timeout now, you can the receiver, as soon as he catches and falls down, can call a timeout, and they could maybe stop it with 1 or 2 seconds to go. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an out-of-bounds pass. Now the Saints have 4 rushmen, 5 defensive backs, and 2 linebackers. And everybody's playing off deep. What they're going to have to worry is about, oh, they're going to go for, they're faking at least with 3 receivers down here to throw the alley-oop. Let's see.
McMahon throws it. 3 receivers. It's going to be overthrown and intercepted by Johnny Poe. And Poe's going to bring it back upfield. Gets out to the 28-yard line as the half comes to a close. So the New Orleans Saints, with an outstanding defensive display, have stopped the Chicago Bears and will have a new game when the second half begins. The Bears 10. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back at the Superdome, where we have a 10-10 score, and the team's coming onto the field for the start of the second half. Bears will defend to our right in their road white uniforms, and the New Orleans Saints to our left in home black. Johnny, certainly one of the problems for the Chicago Bears that became apparent in the second half, second quarter particularly, was the fact that with Kurt Becker joining Feta and Colbert in there as essentially 3 rookies offensively, they were starting to show some holes there against a very aggressive front of the New Orleans Saints.
We also have Hilgenberg, who is in there, who hasn't played that much. You do have an inexperienced offensive line in there, and we'll have to see if that trend continues. But during the latter part of that second period, the pass blocking did break down, and McMahon was under tremendous pressure. Now we have the Bears receiving for the second half. Willie Gault is back there, and of course the Saints are going to try and do what they've done all day, and that's kick it in the end zone so he can't return it.
Morton Anderson, and he gets this one deep again. It's about 3 yards deep, but Gault will bring it out. Gault tripped over a blocker trying to make a cut, got only out to the 16-yard line, so Anderson again does the job, as does the kickoff unit of the New Orleans Saints. Jimmy Rogers, number 41, made the tackle. Let's look at the stats from the first half. You see each team had 9 first downs. The Bears with an edge in total offense, each with a pair of turnovers, and not a great deal to choose from the amount of time of possession, and I guess that's why the score is 10-10.
That's right. It's a pretty even game.
All right, the Bears starting now from their own 16, first down. They shift to the I formation. Payton the deep back. In motion, Baschnagel. Walter Payton behind the block of Suey. Blast through for a first down. And the last man got him out there near the 30-yard line, Frank Watlet, or he might have gone the distance.
Walter Payton, who is now less than 2,000 yards behind Jimmy Brown, follows Matt Suey. Watch Kurt Becker, number 79 and 78, Keith Van Horn, create that hole there as Payton just spurted through and got some big yards. Good blocking by the line. We just talked about the offensive line. They did very well on that one.
Yes, they did. They've got Kurt Becker, the second-year man from Michigan, for the injured Reeve Story. Rob Feta, the rookie from Pittsburgh, for Noah Jackson. Jimbo Colbert, of course, has started all 3 games at left tackle. Number 1 pick this year. McKinnon in motion, play action. McMahon for McKinnon, and it is incomplete. On the coverage, Johnny Poe, number 25, and coming over from safety, Frank Watlet. So it is second down. Payton's 15-yard gainer getting them out to the 32-yard line of Chicago. And it is 2nd and 10 there as we see the youngster from Brigham Young installed as the starting quarterback. Number 1 choice a year ago, and the NFC Rookie of the Year last year.
And the highest pass rating ever for a rookie. Man who set 71. The number always amazes me. 71 NCAA records.
Bill Hurley has come in as the nickelback for New Orleans. 10-10 the score early in the 3rd period. McMahon, a deep drop to the screen, and now has difficulty getting it away. It is incomplete. And just as well, really, because the Saints had that covered like a blanket. And McMahon was lucky to get the ball away. Suey, the intended receiver.
Well, you're supposed to let the defensive line through a little bit on a screen, but not quite that fast, I don't think.
3rd and 10 for the Bears from their own 32. Defensive substitutions for New Orleans.
I would say there are maybe 65, 66,000 fans here in the Superdome. It's a lot of people.
Bears are 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Let's see if they get going here in the second half. Flags everywhere. And we saw some motion on the left side of the New Orleans line. Whether he was drawn over or not, I'm not sure. It looked like Frank
Warren, but he got back, I think, got back in time because he didn't make contact. So now they're calling it against the Bears for drawing the right side of the Saints defensive line offside. So somebody moved.
Ball start, number 74.
That's the 5th penalty charged against the Chicago Bears.
There's the left tackle, Jimbo Covert, number 74, who moved a little bit too soon.
3rd and 15 for the Chicago Bears. Back at their own 27-yard line in the shotgun. Up the middle, Suey hit immediately by Ricky Jackson. A gain of 5 will bring up 4th down. So the inspired Saints defense has just gotten stronger as this game has gone on. They're playing with a great deal of confidence and a great deal of zeal.
They certainly are. It's very noticeable that they're excited on every tackle, and every time somebody makes a tackle, there's 4 guys there to congratulate, and they are really jazzed up for this football game defensively.
So Parsons in to punt, and there is Jeff Groth standing back at the 28-yard line of New Orleans. Parsons from his 20. Another good kick for Bob Parsons, backing up Groth to the 17-yard line. At the 25, he is tripped up. Number 22, Dave Dewerson, making the tackle, and Groth took a little extra lick when he went down from Dennis Gentry, and a flag down on the play. Let's see what the call will be.
Well, they're calling it. It was a very late call. It's almost
also a late hit. That was the problem.
Like the fans helped out on the situation.
50-yard punt by Parsons, and it winds up with the Saints having it at their own 41.
Personal foul, number 29, 1st down.
Dennis Gentry, and he comes from the backside on this play.
You see Dewerson make the tackle,
and there's 29 coming in from the back. Oh, he's calling him for, I think, kind of maybe almost a spear. He came in there helmet first.
All right, so a break again for the Saints, who will have 1st down at the 41 when we return. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in New Orleans. 13:02 to go here in the 3rd period, with the Bears and the Saints still tied at 10. A 50-yard punt by Parsons, but the personal foul penalty to Dennis Gentry has New Orleans at their own 41. 1st down.
These two teams have played 9 times in regular season play, and the Bears have won 6, New Orleans 3.
Last year, of course, the Saints beat them 10-0. See how the Saints do on 1st down this time. Duckett and Goodlow are the wide receivers. Stabler, sideline, complete to Duckett. Is he inbounds? Yes. And will be short of the 1st down, a gain of about 9 to the 49-yard line of Chicago.
Well, Stabler's knee can't be bothering him too much. This time he had to throw off balance as he faded out of the pocket and was really throwing almost falling backwards here as he moves out to the pocket and then just kind of dumps back, and a good play by Duckett came back for the ball. Not quite enough for a 1st down.
Duckett, his hamstring can't be bothering him too much either. He's been a factor offensively for New Orleans all afternoon. That is Gaijan having picked up the 1st down into the 44-yard line of Chicago. The Saints are on the move. Hokie Gaijan. All right, let's take a look at this score. You see the Rams have come back here to tie up Green Bay 17-17. They're in the 3rd period. Remember, next Sunday, the Rams will be featured as our doubleheader game against the New York Jets, and that should be some kind of an offensive display. Ferragamo and Todd and company. next Sunday, our doubleheader game on CBS Sports. First down, the Saints on the move in Bears territory. Stabler, complete, coming back to the ball beautifully. That was Goodlow, the rookie from Kansas State, really a 3-year pro veteran in Canada, but his first year in the NFL.
And without a blitz this time and a 3-man rush there, the Bears were able to force Kenny Stabler out of the pocket. This time he had to run. They had double-teamed everybody, but he threw on the run, and Goodlow comes back nicely to make the reception. Kenny Stabler has that knack of bringing that receiver back, throwing it low, and you get those sure catches.
Imagine that guy catching 100 passes in a 16-game season.
That was in the CFL, though, wasn't it?
Yes,
Canadian?
nonetheless. Second down and 4, and they are stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Wayne Wilson, met by Jim Osborne, coming off an outstanding game last week against Tampa Bay, and number 68, the veteran from Southern University, puts the stop on him for a loss of about a yard, maybe 2 on the play.
There are the stats for this year. Of course, it's been a short season so far. They're 5th in the NFC in total defense.
Slot left for the Saints with 1 setback. Wayne Wilson duck it out to the right. Stabler up the middle of the tail and incomplete. Intended for Brenner, and a late flag comes down. Todd Bell is very upset at the call. Number 25 had the coverage on Brenner. Looked to me like Brenner just dropped the ball, but let's see on the replay if we can. Interference against the Saints. So Bell was upset, thinking it was going to be called against Chicago. Maybe the receiver pushed off.
Well, Brenner must have done that. I think Bell might have got his hand on the ball, ticked it, and changed the direction slightly, and that's why Brenner dropped it. But it becomes
pass interference.
A moot
Number
point
85,
now.
decline, 4th down.
So Brenner is charged with the interference.
Okay, there's Hobie Brenner, 85. They collide there. You can jam a receiver there. Now he's going to probably get him for pushing off. I don't know. That's a tough call.
Boy, is it?
I mean, he's jamming you, and you got to get away from him. Boy, I'll tell you what.
Yes, indeed. I got to wonder about that.
That's got to be a.
You could have made a case
call.
the other way that he held him longer than the 5 yards. Well, it goes against New Orleans, and they will have to punt. Ertzleben's going to pass. Intended for Gross, complete. Jeff Gross from Russell Ertzleben. Another quarterback for the New Orleans Saints makes his debut for 1983. A first down to the 16-yard line. How about that?
And the pass had to be perfect, too, because he was covered by Richardson very well running down the field. Thought he was on punt coverage there. And great catch by Groth. And I'll tell you what. That's a heck of a play. A heck of a play.
That's a great play. You know, Mike Richardson reacted pretty well under these circumstances. Groth makes a real good catch. Ertzleben got the ball there certainly well enough. And a big play by the New Orleans Saints. And 10-10 the score.
And a pretty good call because they were pretty into Bear territory. They're not going to lose too much if they don't make it.
Stabler up the middle for the tight end. What a catch by Brenner. A flag down. Singletary called for interference. That was fairly obvious. As you saw it live, Brenner made a great catch in traffic with Singletary and Todd Bell both on the coverage. He reached back for the touchdown grab. Morton Anderson. So the New Orleans Saints, with some razzle-dazzle, have taken the lead here early in the 3rd quarter.
Okay, you're going to see Hobie Brenner come into the bottom left part of your picture here, and he's going to reach right over the back of Mike Singletary. That's just a fantastic grab, and Singletary did interfere, but it doesn't make any difference when you catch the football anyway. Here it is. Singletary is making contact on him now. Here comes the ball. Hobie Brenner says, I got it. It's mine, and the Saints have the lead.
10 minutes remaining, 3rd period, and the crowd here at the Superdome enjoying this. 17-10, New Orleans leading Chicago. There's the man who caught the pass, number 85, and down at the top of your screen there, the man who threw it, 37-year-old Kenny Stabler.
240 pounds of romping, stomping dynamite. Hobie Brenner today.
Anderson's kickoff, the first one that did make the end zone, and Galt brings it quickly straight up the middle to about the 23-yard line, where he's met by Rich Monty, number 84, a star of the Saints special teams. Look what is happening here, the Rams and Green Bay. It is now Los Angeles 24-17, and the Rams have scored on each of their first 3 possessions in the second half. And the Rams of John Robertson and Vince Ferragamo will be featured in our doubleheader next Sunday on CBS Sports against the high-flying New York Jets. And there is a player down on the 20-yard line following that kickoff play. Try to see who that is. It's one of the Bears' special teamers, and we'll be right back. Jerry Muckenstern just activated today when Gary Campbell was placed on injured reserve, was injured on that kickoff return, an apparent leg injury to his left leg. He's coming back from a foot injury and getting some help from his teammates.
He's had a couple of rough years. He had a bad shoulder injury and a foot injury.
58-yard drive in 7 plays, using up 3:02 on the clock. Stabler, a 15-yard touchdown pass to Hobie Brenner. The Saints lead at 17-10. Bears from their 21 off Galt's kickoff return. Payton up the middle, gets about 3, maybe 4. A little second effort as usual. And the man to stop him, Dennis Dirt Winston, the 7-year man from Arkansas.
And give some credit to Derlin Moore, number 74, the nose guard on that 3-4. If he can jam things up on the center, it makes it tough to run through there.
Well, they have Clark and Moore and Jim Wilkes in, and they substituted freely an entire front 3 in the first half. Lewis, Elliott, and Warren getting into it. And that group, now known as the Nitty Gritty Dirts Band, they call themselves after Dirt Winston, who's brought that championship feeling from Pittsburgh. Payton trying to get wide left, nowhere to go. They shut him down again after a gain of maybe 2. Moore was there, and the linebacker Jim Kovach with Jim Wilkes, number 94, getting in on it.
It was Kovach who made the key play because Becker came around, and Kovach just got away from the block and made the tackle. Boy, their defense has really come to the forefront here in the second half so far.
Call Kovach the Doc. He's working on his MD degree. Third down. Let's see if the Bears can keep it alive here. 8:37 and ticking, third period.
Shotgun.
5 out of the shotgun. They move Jay Saldi into the slot right. And Hurley is the nickel back in for New Orleans. The blitz is on. It's off quickly to Suey, waiting for blockers. Dropped the ball as he was hit from behind, and it is New Orleans ball. Suey took quite a shot from behind, and the Saints recovered the fumble. It is number 73, Frank Warren, coming up with the football. The Saints defense has been devastating.
And Dennis Winston was there too as the Saints came on with a whole bunch of people here. A mix-up in the Bear pass blocking because 2 linemen got through. Now Suey tries to cut back from behind here, cuts back behind his blockers there, Colbert, and here comes 99 Reggie Lewis to kind of strip the ball loose, and there was the recovery. Was it Warren?
Yes, it was Warren. It was Tony Elliott.
Tony Elliott, excuse me,
who
not
made
Reggie.
the hit. Yeah, number 99, the second-year man from North Texas State. All right, so the Saints now in scoring position again at the 25 of Chicago. One setback is Guyjon. Stabler finds some space and finds a man. Duckett, touchdown!
Kenny Duckett is supposed to have a hamstring. I don't see it. He's doing a great job today, and so did Kenny Stabler. Mike Hartenstein, 73, thought he had Stabler. He had him boxed in. Stabler just spots, and even though there were 2 receivers in the same spot, there was Duckett to take the ball and just catch it in the crease and go into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans Saints.
some display of balance by the second-year man from Wake Forest. Anderson with a point after. A 25-yard touchdown pass from Kenny Stabler to Kenny Duckett. Duckett said there was no way he was going to stay out of this game. He does have a hamstring pull, but he said, I'm ready to play. Was he ever? He started with the opening kickoff. 24-10. Kenny Stabler is now 15 of 23 for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Anderson's kickoff, 5 yards deep, and Willie Galt will not bring it out. Morton has only been out of the end zone once on his kickoffs today. Let's go back and take a look at an artist in action.
Okay, here's the end of that play, and you can see the two Saints right together there. There was Lindsey Scott, but he just wheeled away from 4 Chicago Bears, goes into the end zone, and then we're going to see the New Orleans Shuffle. There it is, right there. I got it.
Well, that was the young artist in action. The old artist in action delivered the football.
That's right.
Ageless Kenny Stabler. First down for the Chicago Bears from their own 20. 8:05 to go. Third period. McMahon up the middle. Saldi. Saldi makes the catch, pulls his way for a gain of maybe 6 on the play. 2nd and 4. Whitney Paul made the tackle. And again, we have to just bring up the fact that the Bears have got a very young offensive line in there, and the problems are starting to show up a little bit.
Well, see, what's happening now is when you get up by 2 touchdowns, those defensive linemen can tee off, and it's going to make it doubly difficult for the Bear offensive line on passing situations. Those guys are going to be teeing off, not worrying about the draw or the screen or things like that.
Dennis McKinnon, the rookie receiver, 85 wide left. Galt to the right. Man is sacked. It is Jim Wilkes, number 94. And the Saints defense has just been inspired.
It's Katie bar the door. There is Wilkes right in the middle. He goes right over, and here he comes late for the sack. Boy, I tell you what, did you see how they were pushing the Bears offensive lineman? I was trying to watch 5 people at one time, but you could see basically what was happening.
5th sack by the Saints. 41 yards totaled up in that department. Willie Galt was going to be the man McMahon wanted to get it to. He was just on a straight fly, but he did not have time to fall off. 3rd and 11. Ashnagle and Marjoram in now, and too much time is taken by the Chicago Bears to get the play off, so that'll make it a little bit longer. On 3rd down, 3rd and 16, back to the 14-yard line.
Jim McMahon was a little upset there. He was yelling at some of his teammates. I guess apparently somebody didn't get in the right spot, and they just took too much time. As you take a look at Mike Ditka, he's got to be a little bit ticked off. He does have a temper, a mild one.
A mild temper. Okay.
Okay.
That's the 7th Bear penalty to test his temper with.
This is a big play.
Out of the shotgun inside to Payton, and the Saints shut that down. They have not been easily fooled today. It was Rob Nairn, linebacker number 55, getting in on the action.
You're right that Rob Nairn was in there, number 55, and he's the one that really jams up. He comes in on the blitz right there and gets a hold of Payton and slows him up, and then everybody else gets in on the tackle. But Rob Nairn on the blitz up the middle, and a blitz sometimes works great against the run. In fact, it's more effective.
Look at those happy defenders, Clark and Tony Elliott. And Parsons stands at his own 3-yard line awaiting the snap. This kick a little bit short, taken at midfield by Groth. He's tackled immediately, but the Saints in good field position. Dennis Gentry nailed him right at midfield, but New Orleans not too unhappy to be starting at the 50. A 33-yard punt by Parsons. We have 5:59 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Saints lead it 24-10. Jim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Saints have started to turn the game their way. They have first down at midfield. Vince Evans is warming up on the Bears sideline, so it looks like Mike Ditka wants a change of pace and pace in there. Meanwhile, the Bears have to get the ball. The Saints, Hokie Gaijan, number 46, picks up about 2 up the middle. Let's look elsewhere in the NFL today for some updated scoring. You see the Pittsburgh Steelers leading Houston 19-7 in the third period. And San Francisco has now moved in front of St. Louis 28-10. Montana to Russ Francis for an 11-yard touchdown. And Buffalo leading the Colts 14-9, having come from behind an early Colt field goal. Terry Schmidt is in defensively for Mike Richardson on the left corner. Well played to Gaijan, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage and held a no gain. And that was Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker, number 50.
Well, he came through there like a rocket. He'll hit you on those runs, and Gaijan really didn't get a chance to get going because it was the draw action off the fake of the pass. Watch 50. Osborne will charge left, and 50 Singletary goes right through and makes the tackle before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. Now, obviously, there's a lot of time left in this game, and it's not over yet. And the Saints, you know, as you know, Bum Phillips like to eat up that clock when you get ahead, so they have gone to the run on the first 2 plays. They'll be forced probably to pass this time.
3rd and 9, slot left. Flags down as he is sacked. Stabler at the 40-yard line is dropped by number 55, Otis Wilson, and Hartenstein and Osborne coming in right behind him, and a flag down. Let's see if maybe a face mask was involved here.
Face mask, number 78, declined, 4th down.
Well, they called it against number 78.
Kelvin Clark.
Kelvin Clark of the New Orleans Saints apparently grabbed one of the on-rushing Bears, and he's saying, hey.
He said, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
There's new rules, so you can put your hands out.
Just happened to catch a little iron. So it's declined by the Bears, and New Orleans will punt. Russell Ertzleben, who has punted twice for an average of 48.5, and Jeff Fisher, the deep man for the Bears, waiting for it at the 18-yard line. Ertzleben's biggest play, a pass to Jeff Groth that kept the drive alive and led to the touchdown. Fisher eludes the first tackler. That was number 34, Bobby Johnson. And Fisher could get no farther, however, so they will start at the 20-yard line where Rich Monty made sure that Fisher did not get up. Coming up, following our telecast, will be the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys.
Vince Evans has come in at quarterback. James Scott is now in the game, who's been hampered by a pulled muscle for a couple of weeks. So we see Scott, we see Vince Evans. So Mike Ditka is trying to shake up the mix a little bit here and see if he can get things going for the Chicago Bears. Vince Evans.
On the 20-yard line, first down for the Bears. Rolling to his right, Bruce Clark in pursuit. Evans takes off and slides into the 29-yard line. A pickup of 9 yards on the play. Jim Wilkes in pursuit, caught up with him, number 94.
Well, Vince Evans had a good exhibition season, did very well every time he got in the game, and has kind of been the man that's been in and out over the past few years. Got plenty of speed, a strong arm, and he's the kind of quarterback, if you're going to bring somebody off the bench, he has the ability to come up with big plays. He just has that individual ability. So I figure that is what Mike Ditka is counting on, a little change of pace here. And Evans that time managed to get 8 yards, 8.5 yards out of something that was basically a busted play.
Dan Neal is back in at center for the Bears. Becker, Feda, Colbert, Van Horn, the rest of that offensive line. And Payton has the first down and then some over the 35 to the 36-yard line. And it is Whitney Paul, number 51, Dennis Winston, number 56. The linebackers putting the stop on Payton. In come Moorhead and Willie Galt for the Bears.
I would have to say that my reasoning a moment ago was that McMahon wasn't really doing all that poorly. I mean, the Bears had moved the ball. They didn't have too many points. But McMahon didn't have a lot of interceptions. They hadn't had a bad game. So obviously Dick is just trying to change the situation and hope for something to break.
Go to the one setback with Payton in motion behind the ball is Baschnagel. They give to Payton. He's got the hole. 45 has first down yardage to the 47-yard line. Winston and Russell Gary, number 20, the strong safety on the hit. So Walter Payton marching them out.
Okay, one back. There's only one guy that's going to get the ball. You know it's Payton. Dan Neal does a good job, number 52, as he wheeled Derlin Moore right out of the play. And Payton avoided a tackle there, puts his head down, takes the punishment, and always gets right back up. Never gets hurt.
74 yards on 16 carries for Walter Payton. It is 1st and 10. Evans almost intercepted the pass intended for Saldi, and it was Dennis Winston who nearly came up with a deflection.
And Jim Kovac was there, I think,
on the coverage.
On the coverage, and it was very close that time. He got there just about when the ball got there. Okay, let's watch Vince Evans with one back in. Payton's a blocker on this play. Didn't have to block now. Does Kovac make his contact too soon? It looked like it to me.
Very close indeed. There's Winston diving for the deflection. By the way, Payton's carry is 53rd of this season, brings him to a career total of 2,405 carries. That's what puts him in second place in the NFL all-time record for rushing attempts. He has been a busy man in his career. Second blitz. Evans complete. Suey almost eluded his man. A flag down, deep downfield. Suey picked up about 5 yards on the play. 2:07, the time remaining here in the third period. Let's see what the call is. It was downfield.
It's a big call.
Freddie Wyatt, the referee. See what the call is.
Illegal contact, number 20, first down.
Russell Gary charged with illegal contact. Must have bumped somebody downfield beyond the 5-yard limit. The flag was quite a ways downfield. And the word, Johnny, on McMahon that we have been given is that he has a sprained muscle in his neck and will not be returning to this football game. So that may be the reason, pure and simple, why Vince Evans is in.
Yeah.
It is first down for the Chicago Bears at midfield. Evans, almost picked off, intended for Marjoram. Frank Wantlet, the third-year safety from Kansas, saw that coming all the way. He just couldn't quite get there fast enough to get it in his hands.
Okay, you can see Marjoram down the field. He's driving Johnny Poe off, comes back on the old sponge pattern, and here comes Wantlet. He's the free guy to inside help, and he almost had himself an interception. That would have been a game buster right there had he taken that, because he had plenty of open room. As we're going to take a look at Jim McMahon on the sidelines, and like I said, he's back there with the strained neck. As I mentioned, he wasn't doing all that poorly, and I figured the only reason they were bringing Evans in was to shake it up, but it's because of the injury. Oh!
Side handoff to Payton. Payton with a nifty move, still going. Payton, touchdown. Walter Payton with some dazzling footwork. Broke away from the entire defense of the New Orleans Saints and takes it into the end zone, and suddenly the Bears are right back in it.
What a run by Walter Payton. Boy, that caught everybody for surprise. Surprise off the shotgun, the inside handoff. Great block by Rob Feta, and then Payton just now, watch those legs. They're like crazy legs. Remember Crazy Legs Hirsch? And then he turns on the speed as Wantlet tried to hit him high. You can't hit Walter Payton high. If you're going to dive at him, you go for these legs, and then Walter just cruised it on in. High step at Walter. Down goes the ball, and that's it.
It'll be Bob Thomas attempting the point after.
Look at the rushing yardage, 17 for 123.
It is good, and we still have 1:52 remaining here in this third period, as the Bears have closed the margin up to 7, 24-17. And you know, a neat little moment there was Mike Ditka giving a little pat on the butt to his offensive coordinator, who obviously had called that play, and it was a clever play, perfectly timed into the game, and Payton went the distance, and Ditka appreciating the work of his offensive strategist, Ed Hughes.
And did you know that I think that entire drive was on the ground? Was there a completed pass? I don't think so.
No,
I think
everything
went on the ground. It was however long it was all on the ground.
Coming up right after our telecast here today, you'll see the Giants at Dallas, the second half of our doubleheader. The NFL today, and the Giants and the Cowboys always provide an exciting and very tough football game. The Cowboys making their home opener, and of course that team that has been known as America's team having its problems on and off the field this season. The Chicago Bears went 79 yards in 6 plays, using up 2:40 on the clock. Peyton's 49-yard touchdown run was a dazzler. Dallas 2-0. The Giants are 1-1, and that action upcoming here on CBS Sports. Thomas, kickoff to the goal line, taken by Duckett. Kenny Duckett broke the tackle to the 50, to the 40-yard line. Kenny Duckett, his second big kickoff return, and he has been something offensively for the Saints today. Anthony Hutchison made the tackle, a rookie running back.
And I want to tell you something. If a few people would have gotten out of his way, he would have gone for the touchdown, because he gets a couple of linemen get in his way, and he can't get by them. That's number 67. Stan Brock, as Duckett cut back, but Stan Brock got in his way. You can't blame Brock. He was trying to help out and do a job, but he wasn't able to turn on that burst until it was a little bit too late.
61-yard kickoff return for Duckett. Stabler on first down. He's got a man and a first down.
Nope, he dropped it.
Jeff Groth, and he fielded the ball. Evidently, the pass a little bit low from Stabler, and it is incomplete. Groth was there and open, and Kenny will just shrug that off.
Here is Groth down there, and it's a pretty good timing pass as he goes down the field about 18 yards, cuts to the outside, and the ball was on its way, and there's just no excuse. That one should have been caught. That's a big play.
He won't drop too many. It is 2nd and 10. Lone setback. Wayne Wilson. Stabler intercepted by Terry Schmidt. Intended for Goodlow, and Schmidt was on that one all the way. And the Bears have the ball back at their own 16-yard line with 1:24 remaining in the 3rd period, and Stabler would like to have that one back.
Well, he threw into a bit of double coverage, as you see Schmidt back over there on the corner, and Stabler had plenty of time to throw the ball. He just missed it as Terry Schmidt just came up there and picked it off, took a chance. That's one thing Terry Schmidt will do, is take a chance. He went for that quick post before it was even thrown.
Schmidt has been in there in the second half for the rookie cornerback Mike Richardson, and Schmidt comes up big, trying to win that job back. It's helping his cause. Former New Orleans Saint, Terry Schmidt. So the Bears first down from their own 16-yard line. Evans continues at quarterback, complete to Moorhead. Moorhead is dropped immediately. Whitney Paul, I believe, will make it Dirk Winston, number 56. Dennis Winston on the hit. A pickup of 4 yards for Moorhead. And it is 2nd down and 6. Time winding down here in the 3rd period. Let's take a quick look at some other scores around the NFL. What do we got here? We got Atlanta over Detroit by 10 now. The Lions making a little bit of a comeback, 24-14. Kansas City still leads Washington 12-3, a low-scoring battle into the 3rd. Baltimore and Buffalo. The Colts have gone back in front of the Bills in the 3rd period. 2nd down and 6. Evans up the middle, complete to Moorhead. A perfect strike. First down to the 45-yard line of New Orleans, and Dave Waymer, number 44, pulls him down. That ball was on a rope. That was a patented Vince Evans strike. A 36-yard gain.
And Russell Gary was the man on the coverage of the partial rollout. Turns back. He knew Moorhead was there all the way. That was his first receiver. And watch this 20. Russell Gary tried to knock it down, but the pass was too perfect, right in the old breadbasket. And it's a first down for the Chicago Bears. And moments ago, we thought it could be a blowout. Now it's 24-17.
And there is the gun sounding the end of the 3rd quarter here at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the score, the New Orleans Saints 24, the Chicago Bears 17. We now pause for a word from your local station. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in the Superdome, and here's an interesting number. Second one on your right from the top, 26 yards rushing. Remember the last time these teams met, the Saints got 138 yards out of Wayne Wilson all by himself, subbing for the injured George Rogers. Today it's been Kenny Stabler's passing arm, 201 yards through 3 periods, and the Saints lead it 24-17, but it is Chicago ball. Evans, the quarterback, play action. Up the middle, intended for Baschnagel, incomplete, missed it by a mile. And Russell Gary on the coverage. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for a look at the Green Bay game.
Tim, the pack is back. They have driven down an Eddie Lee Ivory, then took it over, and after the extra point, they've tied the Los Angeles Rams at 24. Back to Tim and Johnny.
Wow, Brent, that sounds like this game here in New Orleans. Seesaw battle. Chicago has the ball. They have a chance to tie it at 24 if they can keep it going. 2nd and 10. They're at the 45. Scott and McKinnon are the wide receivers. James Scott coming back from a groin pull injury, his first start of the season, or his first game of the season today. Evans had time, now runs out, throws the ball off, and there is nobody over there. Let's see if they give him that one or not. The Saints are pointing over to that empty real estate saying there's nobody there but the Bears bench. And meanwhile, Bruce Clark had a grip on Evans, and they may be calling it a sack. And there is one official standing there saying the play was already over. It is a sack back at the 45-yard line. So the disgruntled secondary of the Saints can leave the field happily because Bruce Clark, number 75, has been credited with a sack. A 10-yard loss on the play, 3rd down. You know, the Saints have come up with huge defensive plays today, Johnny. In critical situations, when the Bears have threatened, they've come up with a big defensive play. Shotgun for Evans. Moorhead in the slot right. Look at this. Walter Payton trying the near side and got about 5 yards, but well short of first down yardage. Ricky Jackson forced him out. Payton got it over the midfield stripe, but Chicago will have to punt. Going back into that first half, Johnny, you know, the Bears got to the 34-yard line off a Frazier interception, got no farther. They had a fumble recovery, got to the New Orleans 42. They were stopped on that drive, and they've been stopped here again when they were at the 45 of New Orleans.
And Payton is only the second back to ever rush for over 100 yards against the Saints since Bum Phillips has been here. Of course, he's done that today. I think Tony Dorsett was the only other player that ever did that since Bum has been here.
Payton's 50th 100-yard game today. But Parsons will have to punt it for the Bears. Angling for the corner. Groth, fair catch at the 13-yard line. Another good kick for Bob Parsons. And we will be back with 14:04 remaining regulation time. The Saints have the football and a 7-point lead, 24-17. The Saints have the football off the punt by Parsons. Brenner and Hardy, double tight ends. One setback. The patriarch of passing, Kenny Stabler, continues at the helm, and Wayne Wilson picks up about 3 yards over the 15-yard line to the 16.
Well, you were talking about the running stats a few moments ago, Tim. They just haven't been able to run the ball. It's amazing that they have so many points without, you know, some kind of a running attack. Terry Schmidt, by the way, is still in at the corner. I don't know if Richardson got hurt or whether Coach Buddy Ryan says, let's go with the experienced veteran and take Richardson out.
Richardson's been there since the beginning of the second half and has picked up an interception. Wilson turning it upfield, gets close to the 20-yard line, running off tackle left. Tripped up by Al Harris, number 90, and Dan Hampton, number 99.
Okay, here we go. Here's where Kenny Stabler is at his best. As you know, he calls most of the plays himself, and one of the last quarterbacks in the NFL that still calls his own plays. Everybody sends him in from the sidelines, but he thinks so much like Bum Phillips that Bum lets him call most of the plays. Here is a key situation. Probably a little too far to run the ball. I figure he's going to get that short type pass.
6 defensive backs in for the Bears. Wilson is dropped behind the line. Todd Bell blitzing up from the safety spot. Nobody touched him, and he made a big defensive play for Chicago. Todd Bell.
It's pretty tough to run on the Bears on a 3rd and 4 situation like that. You'll see Todd Bell come through slick and clean. Nobody even blocked him, and he got Wilson before he even got started. Key defensive play by Todd Bell, who led the team in tackles going into this game. He had 17 solo tackles going in, so the strong safety of the Chicago Bears is always in on tackles.
12:22 and counting. Erxleben will have to kick it, standing at his goal line, and the Bears should wind up with
pretty good field
position. Jeff Fisher is at the 41-yard line of the Bears, and plenty of time left with a touchdown margin.
Woo.
Good kick. Dandy by Erxleben. Coming down at the 41. Fisher dives over the 45. Stopped there by Jimmy Rogers and Larry Hardy. So the Bears in good position here. Vince Evans will continue at quarterback when we return to the Superdome. Saints 24, Bears 17. We're back here in New Orleans, where the Chicago Bears have the football at their own 46-yard line, following a 44-yard punt by Erxleben. Vince Evans, a little discussion with Mike Ditka, Ed Hughes, and is ready to go here as the Bears trail by a converted touchdown. Saints defensively have been tough when it has counted all afternoon. Let's see what the Bears can develop here. First downs, 15 for the Bears, 13 for New Orleans. Moorhead and Solly, double tight end, one setback Payton. Moorhead in motion. Payton straight ahead, picks up 5 over the midfield stripe into New Orleans territory. Boy, there are happy times for baseball fans in Chicago. The White Sox having clinched, and I know you've been a busy man in Chicago this past week enjoying the success, and we want to congratulate Eddie Einhorn and Jerry Reinsdorf, and our old pal Eddie Einhorn from his CBS days has done quite a job there with the White Sox, Johnny.
The people of Chicago are very happy. It's been a long time, as you know. It's been a long drought. Of course, they've just won the division. They've got to go a little further yet, but at least there is hope.
2nd and 5 for the football heroes of Chicago, trying to get back into a tie. Evans is blitzed and is going to be dropped. The sack goes to Jim Wilkes, a number 17 choice in 1981 out of San Diego State. And he has become a bona fide NFL pass rusher.
Okay, you'll see Wilkes. He'll come over from the right side of the screen. It goes to the inside of rookie Jimbo Covert, and that is the one weakness Covert has, 74, as he gets a hold of Vince Evans and brings him down. Jimbo Covert, the number 1 draft choice, gets beat sometimes to the inside. Wilkes is not going to let go of Evans, is he? He's got him. He says, he's mine. It's my sack. Nice inside move. He didn't go to the outside.
7 sacks today against that young offensive line of the Bears. 3rd and 16. Bobbled ball, a flag down. Evans recovered his own fumble. Flags are down on the play. And Evans dropping the pass from center in the shotgun.
It looked like several Bears moved too soon to me.
Signal is against Chicago.
Ball start, number 64.
Rob Feda moved a little bit too soon. You know how New Orleans was really coming on Chicago defensively, and the way they nullified that was with Payton running on draws and up the middle and on traps. And we are in a long passing situation. It's too long, I guess, to give it to Payton, but that's the one thing that seemed to stop the New Orleans defense and make them a little bit tentative.
5 down linemen in for New Orleans, and a draw by the quarterback, but it's reacted to beautifully. Tony Elliott, number 99, the nose man, making the tackle on the quarterback draw of Vince Evans.
Well, they were thinking along the same lines that I was, is that the Saints teeing off from that pass rush, and Evans is such a good running quarterback, but it didn't fool the Saints. In a big play, New Orleans has a chance to get the ball.
Let's take a look at some other scores around the NFL. San Francisco now has opened a 35-17 lead over St. Louis. Atlanta has opened one over Detroit, 27-14 in the 4th, and they are tied, the Rams in Green Bay. Parsons punt. Groth signals fair catch and makes it at the 27-yard line. So New Orleans has the football. They have the lead, and they have 9:59 remaining in regulation time here in New Orleans. So Bum Phillips talks things over on the sidelines as Kenny Stabler will bring him out. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris reminding you that right after our telecast, you're going to be seeing the Giants at Dallas. Our doubleheader action on CBS Sports today. The Cowboys off to a 2-0 start despite their off-the-field problems, and the Giants are 1-1, and they are always tough against the Cowboys. That's quite a rivalry. Meanwhile, here, 9:59 on the clock. New Orleans holding a 24-17 lead as they try to move up to 2-1 on the season, and it is New Orleans ball. Kenny Duckett apparently has sprained an ankle. I don't know that that'll keep him out. He also had a hamstring injury. Wayne Wilson picks up 5 on first down, number 30, out the right side. Duckett came into the game with a hamstring pull. He has ripped off kickoff returns of 54 and 61 yards each. Has scored a touchdown on a beautiful catch from Stabler, so I think we might even see him back.
The Bears were in almost like a 4-4 defense. They had about 8 people within a yard of the ball in the last play. This is a big drive for New Orleans. They have not been able to control the ball much in the second half, and that's what they need to do now.
Lots of time remaining. 2nd and 4. And the Bears stack up Wayne Wilson right at the line of scrimmage. 3 tacklers led by Mike Singletary, putting the stop on Wilson. Dan Hampton, number 99, right there with Singletary, and in come the extra defensive backs, Richardson and Williams. So evidently Richardson is all right. Buddy Ryan decided to replace him on the corner with the veteran Schmidt, and now Richardson coming in as the extra defensive back. 3rd and 5. Stabler up the middle, and it is tipped away by Todd Bell, intended for Hobie Brenner.
Well, the Saints once again were not able to do anything with the ball, and you keep giving the Bears the ball, keep giving them a shot. Eventually they're going to get through and tie this football game up, because you can't depend on your defense all day. Now, the Bears have been stacking against the run, figuring, and knowing Bum Phillips' tendencies, and even Stabler, when you get ahead like this, they're trying to grind out and run the clock down. Those 1st and 2nd downs put them in a hole right off.
Bears need a big play here. They've got lots of time, 8:48 remaining in the 4th period, and of course the Saints defensively have made several big plays, so that'll be their object.
Oh, high one.
Ertzleben, and he nearly had the screens up here with that punt. It's a fair catch at the 25-yard line by Jeff Fisher. Ertzleben really elevated that one. A 40-yard punt, and the Bears will start from their 26 when we return with 8:40 to go. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at the Superdome. The Saints have 7 sacks today, and that ties a team record. And that 62 yards they've rolled up in sack yardage establishes a team record. Let's see if they can keep that pressure on. Vince Evans and the Bears trying to move the ball downfield to force a tie here. And he shakes out of 1 sack and gets the ball away complete. It is Ken Marjoram out at midfield, and a good effort by Vince Evans, as it looked like the 8th sack of the day was coming up, and instead he turns it into a long gainer.
Boy, did one of the officials get killed on that play. He provided the key block for
Let's see if we can see it.
The Chicago Bears. This is Marjoram breaking clear late. It's too much to ask the defenders to cover him all day, and it was just a super effort by Vince Evans to get away from all that problem, and little help from the official, who got really clobbered.
First down at the 49-yard line. The Bears into New Orleans territory on 1 play. Suey sets up on the wing right. Peyton the lone setback. Whoops, mixed up play, and a good effort by Evans, but it's picked off. What a catch by Dennis Winston, reaching over his head to intercept. And Evans, off a broken play, had just made a real good effort to get the pass away.
And Dennis Winston gave us a big spike of the ball afterwards, and it almost bounced to the top of the stadium. But watch the pulling action by the left guard and the right guard, both pulling. It looked like Peyton kind of got crossed up on where he was going to go, and then Evans just tried to throw the ball up and over, as he was trying to hit Jay Salty, and Dennis Winston just came up with a superhuman effort there as they leaped up, got the ball, and the Saints have it. Let's see if they control it this time.
Another big defensive play by the Saints. They made them all afternoon. A little shovel pass out there to Wayne Wilson as Stabler was under pressure, and the Bears defensively come up with a big play. A 2-yard loss as Singletary, Fensick, and Hampton all there. 8:07 and counting. It'll be 2nd and 12.
What the Saints have abandoned because of the game situation is what Stabler does so well, and that's that 1-2-3 quick pass out to the receivers or the tight end, the stuff to keep a defense off balance. He's not doing anymore. At least he hasn't been this second half.
2nd and 12. Stabler deep for growth. Frazier on the coverage. Incomplete. A flag down. Todd Bell, expecting the penalty to go against the Bears, is objecting. It's Bell and Fensick both filing their protest with the officials.
And it was
no signal yet. Frazier was
Pass interference. Number 21, first down.
Frazier is indeed going to get the penalty, which has raised the ire of the Bears secondary.
Well, it's going to be a close call because they were both going shoulder to shoulder and going for the ball. Let's see what happens here. Does he jostle him, push him? I don't know. That's another tough call. Both going for the ball. It's a very difficult call. Referees, the officials' judgment. What do you think, Tim?
Well, that's a tough call. I'm going to leave that lie there. The ball is at the 40-yard line. Nonetheless, first down for New Orleans.
It's a tough call, but it was a critical call.
Out of the I formation, they go to Wilson. Wilson running well. Gets some room and gets to the 32-yard line of the Bears. Gain of 8 to Wilson. Al Harris and Todd Bell make the stop. 90 and 25, respectively. 7:25 and counting.
That's the key thing in a drive, a first down play. If you can get yourself 7 or 8 yards, then you got the defense on the go. The Bears defense has had the New Orleans offense really in shackles the past 10 or 15 minutes. However, the Saints have got the lead.
9 penalties assessed against the Bears for a total of 96 yards. That certainly has been a factor. Gaijon.
Fumble.
Loose ball picked up by the Bears. It is Todd Bell, and still running with the football. Now lateraling off defensive, but play has been whistled dead, but Todd Bell has come up with the fumbled ball, and the Bears get it right back. Well, they've traded big defensive plays today.
They certainly have, and actually Kenny Stabler saved this from being a touchdown. There's Gaijon going into the hole here. He fumbled it on his own. I don't think anybody knocked it off.
Never really had the football, Johnny. It was not a good exchange.
There's Stabler trying to make the tackle. He didn't make the tackle, but he got in Todd Bell's way and made him jump over him, which allowed the rest of the Saints to get in on the tackle. There was a little lateral, almost a forward lateral, but the whistle had blown by that time. But it is the Chicago Bears ball.
At the 43-yard line, Evans the quarterback, 6:50 on the clock, 24-17 New Orleans. Bashnagel and Galt the wide receivers. Moorhead in motion.
Pass.
Payton is going to throw. Payton deep for Galt. Galt has the football. Touchdown! Walter Payton to Willie Galt. There are no flags down. What a play! Willie Galt, second touchdown of the day, and again like last week, Johnny, he knows how to go to the ball. He cut off the pattern, and Walter Payton threw that like Vince Evans.
He threw it about 55 to 60 yards, and we'll measure it out. And Payton was also having to run over to his left and throw the ball right. I mean, you're asking a lot when you ask a quarterback to do that. But Payton was able to do that, threw the ball. It's got to be 60 yards.
It's a 56-yard play from the line of scrimmage.
There must have been
and so the ball was definitely in the air over 60 yards.
An unbelievable throw and an unbelievable adjustment by Willie Galt to go get the ball.
Thomas with the point after. It is good. We have a tie football game, and let's go back and take a look at that. What a turn of events in this football game. The fumble recovery by Todd Bell, and one play later, a tie game.
Okay, here is the pitch out to Payton. Now, remember what I said. He's running to his left. Now, he's got that ball. There's no pressure on him. and he just hauls off. He's at the 35-yard line. At the 35-yard line. Poe was even deeper than Galt, but Galt adjusted for the ball, caught it on the 10, and took it in for the end zone. So it was a 40, 55-yard pass in the air by Walter Payton as Poe went down. And Galt now is establishing himself, as everybody said he eventually would. Anybody with 9.2 speed who can catch the football, and he's shown that he can catch the football. 9.2 in the 100, 13.6 in the hurdles. Took a pass on the Olympics for this coming year in order to play for the Bears. Number 83, there he is.
He's caught 2 passes today, both of them for touchdowns.
I'd say his average on the year is going to be pretty big, isn't it? Oh, geez.
So we've got a tie football game with 6:42 remaining. It's been a thriller all the way. It has had big defensive plays. It has had big offensive plays. And we have a tie at 6:42 remaining.
Well, the Saints just have given the Bears too many chances, and sooner or later, one drive's going to falter, another drive, but you keep getting the ball back with good defense. Eventually, you're going to come up with a play, especially when you're behind like that. You come up with wild plays or different plays, and you're asking a lot to cover them all. You may sack a guy once or twice, but eventually they're going to get a big play on you. So now we're back to a normal football game, 24-24, and we'll see whether the Saints can sustain a drive. They have not been able to do that here in this fourth quarter and in the latter part of the third quarter after they took the big lead.
There was a tie at the half, 10-10, and New Orleans went in front 24-10 in the third period. Now we're back even. Kickoff to the 10 from Thomas is taken by Rich Motti, and Motti works his way up over the 30 to the 33-yard line. A good effort by Rich Motti. Dan Raines, number 53, made the tackle. Next week on CBS, the NCAA Today will have this regional action for you. Ohio State coming off the win over Oklahoma against Iowa. Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, Tulane with a big upset over Florida State last night against Kentucky. And plus other regional action, and of course our primetime game next Saturday night, Notre Dame and Miami here on CBS Sports. The New Orleans Saints starting from their own 33-yard line. Stabler on first down, complete. And it is Jeff Groth, number 86. Bowling Green, Brian Cabral, the linebacker, made the tackle, a pickup of about 7.
You know, the more I think about Payton's pass, I was called on once to throw a pass. In practice all week, I had thrown the ball, spirals. You get excited, especially when you're not used to throwing passes. And I threw one that was a wounded duck, because the experience of knowing it's like a golf swing to throw a pass when you're under pressure like that. It was an amazing play by Payton.
2nd and 2, and oh, what a catch by Jeff Groth. A one-handed catch as he was spinning around. Terry Schmidt had good coverage on him. He's got to be saying, hey, wait a minute. How do you stop that? 64,692, a big crowd here, not a sell-up, but a large crowd.
This is a great adjustment of the body, great hand-eye coordination here, because he turned and then he just had to reach out and take the ball, and he almost lost it on his way down. He hung on to the ball. Now the Saints got the ball almost at midfield.
Groth has caught 6 today for 66 yards. First down, the Saints on the move. Stabler again, sideline complete. That is Goodlow, and trying to get out of bounds. Leslie Frazier put the grab on him. 5:48 on the clock. And it's another Saints first down to the 41-yard line of Chicago.
Now they're doing what Stabler does best. Goodlow with a nice move back to the sidelines and back to the ball. Easy first down. Eugene Goodlow, who they say is going to be the best they have here once he gets a little more NFL experience.
There he is, number 88 from Kansas State, 281 pounds. Saints right back on the move. Pump fake, deep for Goodlow, incomplete. Fensick back there, Frazier back there. There were 3 Bears on the coverage as it developed along the sideline, and fortunately for Stabler, the ball went out of bounds.
You hit it right on the head.
It out there deliberately.
He threw it right into a big crowd out there. There were 3 Bears on the coverage, and Stabler, who had popped 3 in a row, nice ones, control-type patterns, decided to, hey, let's go down the field. So now they're in the 2nd and 10 situation.
Look at this guy. I see something. 19 out of 31. 37-year-old Kent State. Williams and Richardson are in to make 6 defensive backs for the Bears on 2nd and 10. Stabler up the middle for the tight end, just missed, incomplete. intended for Hobie Brenner, number 85. Bell and Richardson on the coverage of the big tight end.
Boy, the Bears were bearing down on Stabler that time. He hung right in the pocket. One thing about him, he'll stick and plant his feet in the pocket. He doesn't have any dancing feet as a quarterback, and now he's going to have to stick in the pocket one more time. 3rd and 10, and the Bears will be coming.
Jim Osborne leading the pressure on Stabler on that last play. 3rd down, big offensive play for the New Orleans Saints with 5:37 on the clock, trying to keep the ball. Stabler hanging in that pocket is dropped from behind, and it is Mike Hartenstein with the sack. And Stabler never saw him.
And he beat Stan Brock, the right tackle, again. Mike Hartenstein now has 4 sacks in the last 2 games. Stabler hung with the pocket, and that's the difference between a mobile quarterback and an immobile. But he didn't see him coming. He felt him coming, but he was trying to get the pass off. Watch to the right of your screen. He comes from the backside, number 73, Mike Hartenstein, and down goes Stabler, who was busy doing what a good quarterback should do. Look for those receivers and try and find the open one.
4th sack of Stabler today by the Bears. Erxleben gets off a big punt, lands at the 4 and kicks into the end zone. So the Bears will start from their own 20-yard line, a 49-yard punt for Erxleben, and he's unhappy that he was unable to keep the ball out of the end zone. Well, next week, another full slate of NFL action on CBS, and these New Orleans Saints will be at Dallas, and that should be an exciting tilt. St. Louis at Philadelphia. Those games start 11:30 Central. The Chicago Bears will have a rather unusual start time. They'll be in Baltimore, and that will all start at 12:30 Central with the NFL today. So remember that start time. And the second game in our doubleheader next week will have the Rams and the Jets. And coming up, the Giants and the Cowboys. 1st and 10 for the Chicago Bears. The crowd trying to arouse that outstanding Saints defense. They've been burned on some big ones, but they have made a lot of big defensive plays today. Kovac putting the stop on Walter Payton after a gain of 5.
Do you think Payton has done very much the second half? He ran for almost all those yards in that one drive. He throws a 55-yard touchdown pass. Oh,
he's got 142 yards on the day.
He's got to be only about 1,700 yards. I'm just roughly estimating this, about 1,700 yards, 1,750 maybe, behind Jimmy Brown's all-time record. He's still only in his 9th year. That's getting up there for a running back, but I'd say he's good for a couple, 3 more years, wouldn't you?
I would think so. There's the count on his rushing yardage today.
That's about 7 yards per carry.
He had 14 catches coming into the game today, and that was the top number in the entire conference. Injured Saint player down, we've been unable to identify yet. No, it's a Bears player, pardon me, and we're still trying to get a look at who the injured Bear player is. There we are. It is Rob Fata, the rookie guard from Pittsburgh, and happily he's back on his feet.
Well, it looks like his knee might...
now let's see what they opt to do here. They could bring in Reeve Sorey, who's got a sore knee, or they could go with rookie Mark Bortz at that spot. And it's going to be Bortz, number 62, the rookie from Iowa, as Sorey's knee kept him out of the starting role. Kurt Becker going at right guard all the way today. So Mark Bortz gets his first action at guard as an NFL player. The number 8 pick from Iowa at left guard. 2nd and 4 on the 26-yard line as play resumes with 4:33 and the clock counting. Out of the I formation, Suey goes to the wing left. Evans, the quarterback. McMahon out with an injury. Walter Payton dives for a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and a long 3. Dennis Winston makes yet another tackle, number 56. He joined us along the way. McMahon has not played since early in the second half. He left with a neck muscle injury. There he is on the sideline with his shoulder pads off. He had 11 for 18, 172 yards when he had to leave the game. A touchdown, 1 interception. Nickelback Bill Hurley is in defensively on 3rd and 4, and so the Bears have a big 3rd down play. Out of the shotgun, Evans hanging in.
Oh!
Johnny Poe. Touchdown. It has been a day of big plays. And Johnny Poe comes up with the biggest one today for the Saints. 3:35 to play.
He was trying to hit Marjoram down. I don't think Evans even saw him. Look at that. The pass was a little bit behind Marjoram, and Johnny Poe took it in for the touchdown. And what can you say? The picture tells a million things.
"31-yard touchdown on the return of an interception by Johnny Poe, the third-year man from Missouri. Morton Anderson with a point after. The Saints are back in front. The last time they returned an intercepted pass for a touchdown was in 1979 when Ken Bordelon, now on injured reserve, the linebacker, returned one for 19 yards against Oakland.
I'd say Johnny Poe deserves it because of what he's had to do the last couple of weeks because of injuries, had to, change positions and move around in that defensive backfield. He always wanted to play a cornerback. I mean, that's his natural spot. And he had to move because of injuries in the rest of the defensive backfield. He's back at his normal spot. Comes up with a big play for the New Orleans Saints, and it is a big play. This has been a very entertaining football game. Really, a lot of fun.
31-24, the New Orleans Saints in front. 3:35 remaining to play, and so it is a long way from being over. We've had explosive plays. We've had big offensive plays and big defensive plays today by both teams. And that does add up to NFL entertainment. Morton Anderson, left-footed kicker, born in Denmark, will kick it off, and he has been pounding his kickoffs. Only one has been short of the goal line. Willie Gault, who's got 2 touchdowns on pass receptions today, waiting to return it. He takes it 3 deep, and they hold him in there. So the Bears will start from their own 20-yard line, and after you've watched the doubleheader action today with the Giants at Dallas, remember there is a full schedule of entertainment on CBS tonight. Season premiere of the most popular show on television, 60 Minutes, followed by Alice, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Goodnight Beantown, and Trapper John M.D. All tonight on CBS.
That Bear offensive line is really going to get a test now because the Saints can tee off again. They might be susceptible to the draws and stuff, but being ahead by 7 points, the Bears have to go 80 yards. They're going to give them those runs.
Listen to this crowd.
They're going to tee off on the pass.
5,000 strong. The signs in the stadium say it can happen here. They mean Super Bowl. They'll settle for playoff, the first ever, but it's only game 3 of this 16-game season. Still, they know that Bum Phillips has got something serious going here in New Orleans.
Well, they were 1-15 the year before he came, and last year they were 4-5 in the shortened season, and now they have a chance to go 2-1. They have never had better than a 500 season, so these New Orleans people have been waiting a long time. That's 17 years. Almost as long as the Chicago Bear fans have been waiting. But at least the Bears have won some championships. New Orleans, unless that man right there, Bum Phillips, is the magic one, going to shoot for it this year. He says, what the heck, we might as well go for all the marbles and think we can get them all.
Vince Evans got a little extra time when he said he could not hear his teammates could not hear his signals over the crowd. And now we're ready to go. Beta's back in at guard. Short pass to Moorhead, incomplete. Diving in to break it up was Kovac, the linebacker, number 52. 2nd and 10. 3:24 on the clock. 31-24, New Orleans lead. Evans in for the injured Vince Evans in for the injured Jim McMahon. And all of it squarely on his shoulders. He is 3 of 9 for 65 yards.
Can you think up something new that maybe Walter could do?
Well, he has done about everything else. A quick kick won't help here, though.
Defense.
Slot formation to the right. Saints fans exhorting their defense to come up with another big play. Evans has time. Deep sideline to Galt. And as he inbounds, yes, first down Bears to the 37-yard line. 17-yard pickup.
Pretty good move by Galt as he has to catch that ball and get his feet down. 1-2, a little pitter-patter, and he does it well as Vince Evans had pretty good protection. He put the ball on the dime, and there are his feet. One. Ooh, that was real close. I don't know if that's second. Here, maybe we'll get a better look at it right here, because when he originally was coming down, he had 2 feet, but they didn't hit the ground. Now they're down. Yeah, he's down. He's down. Good call by the official.
First down. Out of the shotgun, Evans. Gets some time again, but he's hit just as he released it. Just as he let the ball go, he was hit from behind, intended for Suey. Rob Nair, an extra linebacker in, number 55, got a piece of Evans and destroyed the pass. 3:13 on the clock. 2nd and 10. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris, we have had non-stop excitement here. It was 10-10 at the end of the first half, but there were a lot of big plays, a lot of exciting plays, just not all of them resulting in scoring situations. And in the second half, everything they've been doing has resulted in something on the board. 2nd and 10 at the 38.
Dennis Gentry is still in there. Peyton is not in the game at this moment.
Slot right. Marjoram and Galt, wide receivers. And the Saints stack it up behind the line of scrimmage.
Tony Elliott with another big play.
Elliott and Clark coming in to break it up for a 1-yard loss. 3rd and 11. We got a final score from Green Bay. And there it is. Green Bay kicked the field goal to break that 24-24 tie and beat the Rams 27-24. 3rd and 12. Well, this is the play of the game.
You can say that again. This is a big one.
Another shotgun. Rolling right.
It's McMahon. No.
Evans complete to Moorhead. First down to the 41-yard line. Vince Evans finding Emery Moorhead, and Evans delivers. 2:15 and counting. And they're into the New Orleans territory.
And I think his plan was to get out of the pocket right away, delay, and then to take off, get him going towards the sidelines, and have people come and help him, because Evans can run so well. And I really think that he was on his way out of that pocket before the play even began. And Moorhead comes up with a key catch and keeps the Bear drive alive. That was an important one, wasn't it?
24-yard gain. Timeout on the field. A terrifically important play. And Evans and Moorhead combine as we've now reached the 2-minute warning. We'll be back at the Superdome in New Orleans with the Bears on the move. Dolly Fan Club is in attendance here, and Patty and Donna say the Bears are going to growl the Saints. Now, that sounds pretty fierce. I wouldn't want to be growled, that's for sure.
Well, it took us 4 quarters. There aren't very many Bear signs in this stadium.
65,000 strong. They are hoping that the New Orleans Saints can hold off this last 2-minute bid by the Chicago Bears. Evans has just come through with a clutch first down. Up the middle, complete to the 21-yard line. Evans to Moorhead again. Emery Moorhead, his 2nd consecutive reception from Vince Evans, and again that ball on a rope to the 21-yard line. The field goal won't do it. 1:47 on the clock. Timeout on the field.
Straight 4-man rush as the Bear offensive line double-team just about everybody to give Evans the time, and you're going to see 4 dark jerseys right around Moorhead when he catches the ball, but he found the open hole and made the reception, so the Bears have a shot. It's 21-yard line, first down, Chicago.
Bears took the timeout. They've got 2 remaining. The ball at the 21-yard line.
One problem with some of the ropes that Vince Evans throws is that the trajectory is not real high. A lot of times you can get, linebacker. Well, Winston got one. You can reach up and snare those down. He doesn't have a lot of arc on some of the passes. That anywhere between 5 and 20 yards, he does not have a lot of trajectory.
All right, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger and see the finish of that Green Bay Rams game.
No, the worst thing you can have is this guy here, Dave Jennings punt, is one of the best punters in the league. Let him get the offense down.
And so the Pack defeating the Rams Green Bay, one of the preseason favorites in the NFC Central, moves their record up to 2-1. Chicago trying to keep pace. They've got to force overtime unless something else should happen if they get the tying touchdown before regulation time runs out.
Peyton is back in, so he apparently was tired, real tired.
I guess. Evans gives it to Peyton. Peyton's going to throw. Peyton to the end zone, wide open. Willie Gault, is he in bounds? No. He's out of bounds over the end line. Peyton had him wide open. The ball was a little overthrown, and yes, it is a touchdown. They reversed themselves. Gault caught it in the end zone. Well, what a turn of events. Holy smokes. Walter Payton, second touchdown pass of the day. Look at Noah Jackson off the bench. He hasn't been able to play because of his thigh problem, but he is leading the applause. And watch this.
Inside handoff. He has 3 linemen there for protection. They're going to make sure he gets rid of that ball. And Gault just got lost in the crowd. And the first official, nice pass, huh? First official said it was out of the end zone. We'll take a look as it comes down. 1, 2. He's in.
Yeah, no question.
That's it. He hasn't got any more feet than 2.
Thomas will attempt the point after to tie it up. You can expect Young to be jumping high. It is good. We have a tie football game with 1:40 to play here at the Superdome. What a game here in New Orleans.
I told you there was something else that Walter could do, is run to his right and throw a touchdown pass.
That's right. We did leave that out.
That one out. Unbelievable football player.
Walter Payton with his second touchdown pass. Willie Gault with his third touchdown catch. And the Chicago Bears, Vince Evans over there saying, nice pass, Wally. It followed exactly my instructions on how to throw the football.
The thing is, the quarterbacks are going to start worrying. One of them might get cut. Walter will go out for quarterback. Here it is.
One more time.
Look at those linemen. You can see there's Spada, there's Becker. Everybody's out in front. Jimbo Covert, 74. No pressure on Payton. He just flings it, and it's really an excellent pass into the end zone. Gault was so open and made a nice catch, made sure he got a hold of it and got both feet in. Willie Gault has 3 touchdown passes, right?
Yes,
2
he does.
from Payton.
Now there's 1:40 left, which is a lot of time, as you all well know. And I was speculating that this Chicago touchdown, if they scored it, would force overtime, but they did leave the unless. 1:40's the way this game has been going, that's almost an eternity, because the Saints could, well, do something, make something happen score-wise before regulation time runs out. Willie Gault is the deep man for the Bob Thomas kicks off, and the deep man is Duckett, number 83 for the Saints.
There he
the other
goes.
83 who's had himself a day. And look at him, out to the 35-yard line. Dennis Gentry made the tackle, but New Orleans 83 has had 2 long kickoff returns, 54 and 61, and he gets this one out to the 35-yard line. And there he is, up limping with a hamstring and an ankle pull, but looks like he's trying to stay on the field. Now they call him out. Well, we want to thank all of our outstanding crew here and elsewhere, our executive producer and our senior producer, Terry O'Neill and Charles Milton in New York, our producer here, Ed Gorin, and our director, Peter Bleckner, associate producer from Chicago, Paul Arndt, and the outstanding technical crew. First down pass. Kobe Brenner out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 1:28. Kenny Stabler, if there's anybody who operates a 2-minute drill or less better than Kenny Stabler in the history of the NFL, I can't name him. Let's see what he can do here.
You know, we might have listed those credits a little bit soon. We could be around here for a while.
2nd and 2. There's some of the other chaps who are bringing it all to you. And we thank them. This is 2nd and 3. 1:28 on the clock. Stabler in control. And he is
it's fumble.
Loose ball. Al Harris made the hit. The Bears say they have the ball, and they do. And so a big defensive play. Jim Osborne, number 68, comes up with a loose ball, and the Chicago Bears have the football.
There is a penalty on the play, but it's probably against New Orleans. It looked like it was in the offensive line there. So it's the Bears' ball, I believe.
Holding, number 64, declined, first down.
So the
Dave
Bears...
Lafari called for holding, so the Bears get to keep the football with 1:23 to play.
Let's take a look at Jim Osborne. Dan Hampton, 99 on the spin. Osborne comes around, gets around the hole, and there is Al Harris with the stripping of the ball as Stabler lost it. And there is the recovery by Osborne, number 68. He's had some key plays, hasn't he?
So Chicago with the ball in Saints territory at the 34-yard line. And 1:23 still remaining regulation time. All kinds of motion. Flags are down as Payton runs into his own blocker and is dropped. And this penalty will likely be against Emery Moorhead, who appeared to be a little too eager to get into the play. And so that will drop the Bears back as they had excellent field position with a lot of time remaining.
Was there a second flag that dropped late, too?
Well, there are 2 flags down. I'm not sure whether they're for the same infraction or not. An official huddle is underway.
Well, it's
The
against
signal
Chicago.
from Freddie Wyatt was against the Bears.
Well, one thing that is evident, and that is that Mike Ditka is displaying his
Illegal motion, number 87. First down.
his outgoing personality in the nature of this football team. He's not afraid to do anything. We have seen everything the last 3 weeks. Every kind of reverse and toss and option and everything.
First and 15. Evans continues at quarterback. Payton the lone setback. They give it to Payton. Why not? Out the left side, Walter Payton gets out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 8 yards on the play. 1:17 on the clock.
And they are now very close to field goal range. As you look at Bob Thomas, number 16 in the back, and he is the most accurate kicker in Bear history. You can see the figures there yourself, and has been really very dependable for the Chicago Bears over the years, and it is going to come down to him probably because there's 1:17 left in the game. The Bears at the 30 right now. It'd be a pretty long field goal, but they have plenty of time to get it in closer.
You know, the New Orleans Saints lost a heartbreaker last week, 30-27 to the Rams. They could be looking that in the eye again right now. Baschnagel.
Oh,
Give it to Payton, and they really stacked him up. The Saints defense.
they timed the blitz perfectly, Tim. I think it was Watlett
and Derlin Moore.
Yeah, and even Waymore was around there. But you watch the timing on this. There's Watlett, 49. He gets right in the gap here and is right on Payton before he can even get the ball, and caused a little bit of a collision. There's Dan Neal, 52, and going, what's going on around here?
So it is 3rd down and 9. A tie football game. 42 seconds on the clock at the 32-yard line of the Saints. Payton alone setback. Baschnagel right. Suey complete. Flag down. Suey is near the first down marker. A flag is down on the play. 26 seconds on the clock. Keith Van Horn is slow to get up.
And it may be a holding call against Chicago. We'll have to see. It was back in the pass blocking area.
That's the call.
Boy, that's a big call.
That will probably push Thomas out of field goal range. Now, mind you, we're indoors here. There's no wind factor, nothing in his face. May have the air conditioning behind him. How do we know?
Frankly, I'm surprised they opted to pass the ball when you risk the sack when they're at the 32. If they could have run for 3 or 4 yards.
Holding, number 78, 3rd down.
When you are down that close, if you can get 3 or 4 more yards, Thomas has a shot at a 40-yard field goal. But when you pass, you know, that's second guessing. You always risk yourself to the sack or to a holding call. So we'll see what happens.
Penalty against the Bears, Johnny. 111 yards they've given up. That's a lot of going backwards. 3rd and 19. Slot left. Marjoram and Scott. James Scott, the wide receivers.
Here they come, everybody but the kitchen sink.
And he gets the ball off. What an effort by Vince Evans. Are they going to call a sack or not? 22 seconds on the clock. Whitney Paul had him in his grip.
That looks
Evans
like they
got
are
the
going
pass away.
They're calling the sack.
Well, that's twice now. Evans has been able to unload the ball, but they have ruled it a sack for New Orleans, and that puts them back to the 47-yard line of Chicago.
Whitney Paul, 51, was there before Evans had a chance to do anything, and there was no chance for the completion, but they gave him the sack on the play, so Parsons is in to punt the ball with 3, 2, 1, and we're going to have overtime.
That's it. We'll go to the extra innings. So we have had some kind of a thrilling football game. We're tied at 31. The Saints and the Bears, Walter Payton and Willie Gault have provided almost all of the Bears offense. Kenny Stabler and Kenny Duckett have done the same for New Orleans. We've seen some outstanding defensive plays, believe it or not. We've scored 62 points.
I know.
But we have had some big defensive plays today. This game has had it all. There have been 8 sacks for the New Orleans Saints to establish a new team record.
And a critical coin flip is coming up, as Kenny Stabler is already out there for the New Orleans Saints, and he's been involved in a few classic games. Remember the rule change because of him in that game a few years ago when the deliberate fumble they called
it a deliberate fumble.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ever admitted that. Neither is our John Madden, who still claims it wasn't a deliberate fumble.
Okay, here's a big coin flip. Lady Luck has a lot to do with the outcome of this game now on this situation.
Jeff Fisher for the Bears.
It is a tail. Which way you want it? You're which way? Kick it. Okay.
The Bears won it, I believe.
Bears will receive. Jeff Fisher made the winning call out there, and the Bears will receive to our right. So we'll begin the overtime momentarily with the score tied at 31. We'll be right back at the Superdome in a moment. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in the Superdome, tied at 31. Overtime about to begin. The Bears will receive the football. Meanwhile, the game that many of you will be seeing as soon as this one is completed, the Giants at Dallas. New York is on top at Dallas, 3-0 in the first period. Field goal by Ali Haji Sheikh. And so the teams take the field here, having had their brief rest, and you can see they've been there before. The Bears have 9 times and are 4-5. The Saints have been twice there and have yet to win in overtime.
And I can't remember the exact statistics, but when I said Lady Luck was for the Bears when they won the flip, it doesn't always work out that way, because if you look over the years, the team that has won the flip has lost the most times, which does not quite seem like the way it would turn out, but that's the way it does.
Chicago has opened the scoring in this game, and then it was 10-10 at the half. Saints went ahead 24-10. Chicago tied it at 24 all. New Orleans went ahead 31-24 on Poe's interception. Payton's second touchdown pass to Gault tied it up.
Oh.
And here we are. Another huge kickoff by Morton Henderson, and Willie Gault, about 7 yards deep, will stay right there, and the Bears will start from their 20-yard line. Well, there'll be more of the same next week. These Saints, who are obviously an exciting team on the rise, will be in Dallas against the Cowboys. The Bears will be at Baltimore at 12:30 Central Start Time with the NFL Today next week. So you folks in the Chicago area, note that start time. St. Louis at Philadelphia, another one of our regional games next week on CBS Sports. And the doubleheader clincher is the Rams and the Jets. Los Angeles at Shea Stadium. Here we go. First down. Vince Evans, the quarterback. McMahon left with a neck injury early in the second half. Evans to Payton. Payton straight ahead, picks up about 7 to the 28-yard line. Let's make it an 8-yard game.
Reeve Sorey has come into the game, number 69, and threw a good block. He has a sore knee, didn't play early in the game. 69 is playing at the left guard spot. He comes across and just wheels his man out right there, and Payton goes through the hole. Good blocking by Reeve Sorey, number 69, who's been on the bench with a sore knee, so you know he's hurting.
Hall and Kovac made the tackle for the Saints, 2nd and 2. So Covert, Sorey, Neal, Becker, Van Horn. Payton straight ahead and nowhere to go. The Saints shut it down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. nose tackle Derlin Moore. Number 74 is straightening up the center, Dan Neal. Dennis Winston, number 56, right there with the support.
So we have about a 3rd and 1 situation, and here comes Jay Saldi, 81, another tight end with the play for Vince Evans, as this New Orleans defense is on the spot once again, as they have been most of the second half.
What's your call here, Johnny? What's your call? Looks like maybe the Bears haven't decided on their call here.
There's only 7 seconds left in the clock.
3, 2, just got it off. It's almost fumbled. Payton trying to keep the play alive. He is stopped.
Oh, boy.
A misplay by Evans and Payton, as Evans had trouble with the snap from center with time winding down on the clock. And Ditka is slightly upset, and Suey trying to explain, hey, Coach, here's what happened.
Well, apparently there was a mix-up on the formation or the call, and there was some confusion because Suey was trying to defend what he did. And here, so they tried to rush it off, and then they got messed up on the handoff, and there were too many Saints around, and they obviously the thing to do would have been called timeout. They still have 3 timeouts. It's a new 2 timeouts in the overtime period.
Parsons gets a good punt away. It's taken at the 30-yard line by Groth, and Groth gets out of bounds at the 35. So New Orleans will have first down in pretty good field position. They're going to spot it at the 34-yard line in New Orleans. Let's take a look at some other scores. A final is in from Detroit, where Atlanta has handed it to the Lions 30-14. And Green Bay with that field goal victory over the Rams, 27-24. Washington came from behind to beat Kansas City 27-12. Buffalo over Baltimore 28-23, a real dogfight. And New England upset the Jets 23-13. Pittsburgh over Houston 40-28. Back here we are. Gaijan gets about a yard over the 35. Maybe a 2-yard gain for Gaijan. Otis Wilson on the tackle with Hartenstein and Osborne. It'll be 2nd and 8 yards.
It's one thing is obvious, that they're just not able to get the running game going, Tim, and they haven't all day. And they're missing Mr. Rogers, obviously. That was the heart of their running game. But I think as far as the Saints are concerned, they got to go to the control stuff that Stabler does so well. 1, 2, 3, fire. Not deep in the pocket.
He's got lots of time here. Sideliner is out of bounds. No, it is inbounds. It is a completion. And it is Jeff Groth. I thought he was juggling the ball as he made the catch. But it is ruled complete.
Well, you're going to get a chance to find out as Groth goes down the field deep, an 18-yard out. Now, he doesn't go to the sidelines. He comes back to help Stabler out. Comes back almost 10 yards, and you can't get a good look, but it does appear that he had his feet in bounds. Now it's close to a first down situation. That's what the Saints, that's what Stabler do best in this game, because you don't have Rogers. You got to throw that precision stuff.
First down for Groth, and still looked to me like that ball was being juggled, Johnny. I don't think he had a real good grip on it.
Well, we'll get a chance to look at it.
Well, you wide receivers stick together anyway. Look at, he's still trying to get a hold on it.
I don't know. You're seeing 2 different things.
Doesn't matter. It's first down for New Orleans, and they have it at the 44-yard line.
If the Saints go down and score, the Bears are going to be sick that they didn't call a timeout when they had that critical 3rd and 1 situation, and they tried to rush it rather than call a timeout and get organized.
11:52 in the overtime period remaining. 1 setback for the Saints.
Blitz.
They've got him. Ryan Cabral, the charge led by Wilson, number 55. Ryan Cabral, the linebacker, number 54, wrapped him up. Big defensive play for the Bears, back to the 34 of New Orleans.
Stabler must not have had a safety valve, because here comes Singletary, comes Wilson, Cabral, everybody, and he couldn't dump it off to anybody, which he's usually so good at, as it was Otis Wilson who made him kind of adjust in the pocket, and Cabral just finished off the tackle. So now they're in a long passing situation.
That's the 6th sack by the Bears. A total of 55 yards. Both these teams have been having sack Sundays. Stabler into traffic, and it is intercepted by Terry Schmidt.
Well, there's a flag down.
Flags down. The pass intended for Goodlow, Terry Schmidt caught the football for the Bears, and let's see which way it goes.
I think it's going to go to Chicago. They may have called something on. We'll have to see. But if it's on the Saints, it's probably something where it looked like he grabbed it, Schmidt. He might have grabbed the face mask after the interception.
Good eye, Johnny. That's the call. Freddie Wyant giving that preliminary signal. Walter Payton checking it out. The ball will be at the 47-yard line of the Bears, and they'll march it off from there. So they get into Saints territory at the 47.
Boy,
second interception by Terry Schmidt.
Yeah, he is really coming on.
Face mask, number 88, first down.
It was Goodlow getting the call.
Well, here goes Stabler throwing down into a little traffic. They had the old double team on here. You're going to see two guys. And Schmidt just goes up and over and makes a super intersection. And there is the grab there of the face mask after the play. So the Bears have a chance now inside Saint territory.
In motion, Moorhead. Evans pitching to Payton. Payton takes it off tackle and dives for about 5 yards. 2nd and 5 to the 43-yard line of New Orleans. Kovac and Wilkes on the tackle of Walter Payton. 11:03 counting down in the overtime period. They spot the ball right on the 44-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris with a real thriller from the Superdome. Any of you who will stay tuned will be watching the Giants at Dallas, already in progress. 161 yards rushing for Walter Payton on 27 carries, 2 touchdown passes. He's done it all. And he eludes the loss and picks up about a yard. Looked like he would be drop about 6 yards on that play, and he wound up gaining 1.
There's Mike Ditka and Ed Hughes talking to Kenny Marjoram. They're going to make sure that the call is, everybody's clear of what it's going to be. But, you know, you said, what did he lose, a yard on that play?
No, he gained a yard.
Gained a yard. You know, he really should have lost 4 or 5. I mean, Payton, some of the little things that Payton does, you don't appreciate. If he had been hit like most backs and dropped when he was double teamed back there, it would have been 3rd and 10. Instead, it's 3rd and 5. That makes a difference.
Shotgun Evans. Deep drop. Short pass. Payton hit immediately by 3 Saints. He got only about a yard. Excellent defensive work. Frank Whatlett, number 49.
Do you think they were waiting for Walter Payton?
I think they were waiting for Walter Payton.
Somebody else had to be open around the field. You're waiting to see Payton. He just drifts out of the backfield, and there's 3 Saints waiting for him right there. 1, 2, 3, we're all on him right there, waiting for nobody but Walter Payton. That's what you call drawing a crowd.
Well, the Bears are only 3 of 16 converting 3rd downs today. And that'll bring Bob Parsons on with 9:19 and ticking. And it'll be the Saints' turn to try to get into field goal territory. Well, a little razzle-dazzle on the punt here, blocking formation by the Chicago Bears. Shifting blockers. Oh, this looks like a dandy by Parsons. He's got his own man in front. That is Gentry at the 2-yard line. A perfect punt by Bob Parsons. And Dennis Gentry hustling down there to down it at the 2.
Well, Bob Parsons getting his congratulations. He's been so good at that over the years. One of the best punters for punting inside the 20. And I would say if you went by stats inside the 10, he's got to be number 1 in the NFL.
40-yarder, but it's where it stopped that really counts in that stat. It's at the 2. And Kenny Stabler brings on the Saints offense from the shadow of the goal line. They'll try to get the ball upfield with 9 minutes to play in overtime.
Well, let's see. They haven't been able to run a lick, you know. And now here they are on their 1-yard line. And it's going to be very difficult for the Saints.
They're in the I formation on 1st down. He's going to throw off play action complete to Hobie Brenner.
Oh,
you got to love that.
That's a gutsy call and a good call.
Frazier made the tackle. The big tight end, Brenner's become a very reliable receiver. 17-yard pickup, and the Saints are now having a little breathing room.
Good pickup on Mike Singletary by the backs after they faked, and there's Hobie Brenner. Mismatch in size, but Frazier made the tackle, and they got a 1st down out at their
14-yard line. Audible. That is Gaijan getting to the 15 for a pickup of just a yard. Make it Wilson. Wayne Wilson, number 30. And George Rogers.
I think he's wishing that he was in there. He gained over 200 yards the first game of the year. Still a leading rusher in the NFL. He won't be after today's statistics come in, but you miss somebody like George Rogers, and they just haven't been able to make up for that as far as the running game is concerned.
Wore the jersey to the game. Maybe he was hoping Bum would suit him up anyway. 2nd and 9. Stabler complete. Kenny Duckett. First down, Saints. What a day this guy's had. Kenny Duckett, second-year man from Wake Forest, their 5th pick last year. He's been running back kickoffs, picks up a 13-yarder. What an afternoon.
And he almost didn't make it off the field the last time he carried the ball. He was limping, and here he goes and catches that quick post in a crowd, too. That's the way a wide receiver, you got to do it. Go for the ball and hug it, and don't worry about your teeth.
It only hurts when he laughs. Kenny Duckett's 4th catch today, 49 yards and a touchdown. He's wide left. Scott wide right. Draw play. Wayne Wilson's got some running room. Wilson picks up about 9. The Saints really having an outstanding drive from their 2-yard line, and they're out to the 38. Gary Fensick made the hit. 6:48 on the clock.
Yeah, you have to give them some credit. They came out from their shadow of the goal post. Well, there's no shadows inside here, but they still came out of there and have moved the ball well with excellent field position now. Now they can play a game. I think they might throw more on first down.
2nd and a yard to go. 1 setback. Quick little flare out for Duckett. Duckett has the first down. Frazier with the tackle, out of bounds at the 41.
Now this is the point of the game where it gets interesting, because you know that Bum Phillips likes to, even though they threw on first down a lot last week, they like to, get you in a 2nd and 4 or something like that. But where they've been successful are those kinds of passes that we've seen today, where he throws the precision. He throws them on first down, they'll complete them, and they'll do well. But running on first down has not been the answer.
Stabler is 24 of 37 for 274 yards. Just got it away, and it's complete. Lindsey Scott, 9-yard pickup to the 48-yard line.
Kenny Stabler, 37 years old. Every time he gets up off the turf, you think that might be the last time he gets up, but he just keeps getting up. And you imagine they got him as a free agent, didn't they?
He's a 208-pounder this year. He's telling our people yesterday that he thinks he's in the best shape physically, weight-wise and conditioning. He's had a full training camp. Feels like a kid again, doing what he did again. 25 out of 39 he stands. 2nd and 2. 6 defensive backs in. Pitch out to Wilson. Good call. To the 30-yard line, Wayne Wilson. Oh, you gotta love that call.
A pitch to the outside on 2nd and very short yardage, and it opened wide open. You'll see Walt Williams get caught in the traffic, number 43. There's the key block right there. I believe that was Hobie Brenner, I believe, as he sprung Wilson to the outside, and finally Terry Schmidt catches up with him, but not before the Saints are down in field goal range.
Oh, man, this is fun. This is the most fun I can remember in an NFL game in a long time. 1st and 10 for the New Orleans Saints. 65,000 faithful enjoying this. Wilson